This is Mickey Market. Hello?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
And now it's Geico's Motorcycle Rules of the Road. Avoid biking in the rain and never touch another person's bike.
Hey guys, look at these bikes. So shiny. Whoops. I'm gonna leave a note. Oh gosh, there's more.
And the rule to saving on motorcycle insurance is, in 15 minutes, Geico could save you 15% or more.
Gary Ashton here. I love hearing people say, don't sell without the intel, because it means they're really embracing our message. Now's a great time to sell your home in Nashville, but you need the intel only the Gary Ashton team can provide. Intel that helps you sell your home without any staging or showings. Intel to find your next home so you can sell your current one while the market's hot. Intel to win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity now. Let everyone else get the same information and compete for the same properties, while you get the intel edge with the Gary Ashton team, the official real estate team for your Tennessee Titans. And if you're looking for a great career, join our team. We added 65 new agents last year, and we want you to join us this year. Remember, don't sell without the intel. And if you're looking for a great career, the Gary Ashton team wants you in 2022. Call 615-301-1650 or visit GaryAshton.com today.
Harmon Energy is your one-stop petroleum solution across all of Tennessee, offering turnkey petroleum solutions for professionals in major industries, serving trucking fleets, construction companies, industrial plants, and more. Whether a large corporation or owner-operator, Harmon Energy has your diesel fuel, lubricant, DEF, and equipment needs. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman. Visit ParmanEnergy.com for more info. Your Tennessee petroleum solution, providing totally outrageous customer service.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell media station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman & Company is delivered by TriStar Moving. ESPN 1025 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry, live from the Hillside Medical Game Studios. We are live today at Huckleberry Brewery out here in Cool Springs. It used to be Cool Springs Brewery. They got new ownership. They have gutted the place. It is brand spanking new.
It's really cool in here.
It is awesome. We got TVs everywhere. So watch the Preds game here tonight. They'll have the Grizzlies game on too, and they got TVs everywhere. TV on TV on TV. So if you want to watch two games at once, this is your spot. Again, this is next to Sperry's in Cool Springs on Fraser Boulevard. And guess what? We're giving away tickets. Game 3 tickets tonight right here. You could be going to Bridgestone Arena if you come out tonight to watch a game here at Huckleberry Brewery. And again, we'll be giving away tickets at the start of the third period. So be very excited about that. Caroline is here today, and Elijah is in for Ian. Ryan Tannehill talked today, and we're going to start on that. So there's a bunch of different topics. I'll give Tannehill credit because he did address everything. Now, whether or not you liked what he said, he addressed it. And Tannehill got to the podium, and the first question I asked about, missing voluntary workouts. So we went right to it. But I want to start with this because this is going to be the biggest story, rightly or wrongly, that comes from the Tannehill press conference, and this is going to be a national story. This will be something that is discussed at length on probably every television sports show out there. And yes, it's the basketball playoffs, and yes, it's the hockey playoffs, and yes, there's baseball, but it's quarterback controversy time in the NFL, and so this is going to be the number one story. And it was when I asked him, now he had said all the right things about Malik Willis. I was excited to add him, didn't know they were going to draft him, but they drafted him, and I didn't take anything negative away from that. And they added him, and I texted him, and I'm excited to get going. And I asked him the question about the dynamic of working with Malik Willis, knowing that his goal is ultimately to take your job. Here's what Tannehill said.
Ultimately, probably his goal is to take your job.
I mean, that's part of being in a quarterback room in the same room. You know, we're competing against each other. We're watching the same tape. We're doing the same drills. I don't think it's my job to mentor him, but if he learns from me along the way, then that's a great thing.
So again, the statement in there that people are going to run with, and they already have, is it's not my job to mentor him. And a lot of people are going to talk about that, and you can feel however you want about that. Here's what I will say to that. It's not his job to mentor Malik Willis. And I think there's going to be a lot of people. I already saw Kurt Warner send out a tweet that was like, I don't understand this. It's not my job to mentor. And that's going to be something people are going to talk about. But it's not Ryan Tannehill's job to mentor Malik Willis. If Ryan Tannehill is the perfect mentor to Malik Willis, I mean, shows him everything he knows about playing quarterback, invites him over for dinner every single day. They go over every throw, every practice throw. I mean, if Malik Willis feels like this is the nicest guy in the world to him, and Ryan Tannehill still throws 3 interceptions in a critical game next year, you're not going to care. Ryan Tannehill's job is to be the quarterback of this team. When I heard that, this is what I heard from Tannehill. I don't have a problem with Malik being here. I know that Malik is going to try to take my job. I know that a lot of people are already thinking about that. It's not my job to be the one that coaches him up, and that is true because that's the coach's job. It's not my job to be the one that coaches him up, but I'm not going to be a you-know-what to him. I am not going to stand in his way from learning. I am not going to, not speak to him. I'm not going to do that. And that's really all I think that anybody should ask a Tannehill. So I get it. I understand the idea of people hearing that, and they hear that as almost an insecure or defensive way of saying, this is my job, and it's not my job to coach him up on how to take my position from me. But that's not what I heard. And while, again, I asked it in a press conference setting, I made it as unambiguous as possible. I do feel like as the person that he was answering it to, I do feel like, how I felt his response does kind of matter here. And I just felt like when he said, hey, that's football. Not my job to mentor him, but I thought he was telling you the truth. And I actually thought what he said was good. You see, there's 3 ways that a quarterback can act here. And I'll give you an example on each. There's the first way a quarterback can act, which everybody would prefer, which is, you're my buddy, you're my guy, I know you're taking my job, I'm okay with you taking my job, let me help train you. $30 million quarterbacks normally don't do that. They normally focus on playing quarterback. Alex Smith did do that for Patrick Mahomes. But normally, that doesn't happen. Tom Brady didn't do that with Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know what Jimmy Garoppolo's relationship was with Trey Lance. But again, there's a difference between, hey, I got a question for you. What do you think? Floyd told me with Steve McNair, one of the best things that ever happened to him was Neil O'Donnell as the backup. Because Neil O'Donnell could sit there with Steve, and he knew he wasn't trying to take Steve's job, and he knew Steve was the starting quarterback, and that helped Steve McNair. But that's not Ryan Tannehill's job. Ryan Tannehill's not the backup quarterback. No matter how much some people, maybe even at times me, want that to be the case. He's not the backup quarterback. The second way you can handle it, which is the way I think Tannehill is going to handle it, which I'm cool with, is, we're working together. We're trying to go out there and do the best we can. He's going to try to be the best quarterback he can be. I'm going to try to be the best quarterback I can be. If he sees the way that I operate and he says, hey, I like the way that Ryan Tannehill wakes up at 7 o'clock in the morning and sends a text message out to all the wide receivers communicating the plan for the day, and I think I'm going to do that. Good for him. But I'm not going to sit there every day and say, now, Malik, the reason I threw that interception was because he's not doing that. The third way is to be just a complete a-hole to him. And I think Tannehill said he's not going to do that. I mean, there are stories about how Brady in New England, about how Jimmy G went to go work out at TB12 and showed up and the doors were locked. Tannehill's not doing that to Malik Willis. I was reading a story Peter King wrote from a couple years ago. Pat Mahomes. So Pat Mahomes is the dad of Patrick Mahomes. He's a longtime baseball pitcher, pitched in the big leagues, actually pitched for the Sounds. And Pat Mahomes would constantly thank Alex Smith because Alex Smith was helping Patrick Mahomes along. And Pat Mahomes told a story to Peter King that when he was a rookie with the Minnesota Twins in 1992, he went up to Jack Morris, who at the time was the reigning World Series MVP and the ace of that staff, and he's in the Hall of Fame. And he went up to Jack Morris, and he asked Jack Morris how to throw a split-finger fastball. And Jack Morris was like, get out of my face. I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody who's going to take my job how to take it. And that always stood with Pat Mahomes. Of what Tannehill talked about, but I do think that this is going to be the number one storyline that came from this press conference, which is the interpretation of what people see in print compared to what they hear. And what they hear is Tannehill saying, hey, look, Malik Willis, and again, I asked the question, and I said, what's the dynamic like knowing that he is ultimately there to take your job? And his response was, that's football. Just like how Hassan Haskins, the running back from Michigan, would love to take Derrick Henry's job. Just like how an undrafted free agent gets here, and if you said to the undrafted free agent, hey, we're going to start you over Robert Woods, the undrafted free agent would say, heck yes. That's what they would love that. He knows that's what Malik wants to be. He knows the Titans drafted him in the 3rd round with the 86th pick with the hope that that's what Malik can be. That's football. And I'm fine with it. Again, we're going to watch the same tape. We're going to do the same drills. We're going to be in the same quarterback room. That's important. Just like Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe didn't go to Bill Belichick after he won the Steelers game in the AFC Championship and said, hey, coach, let's put Tommy back in. He didn't say that. By the way, they're good friends now. And if you read the books like I have about the Patriot Dynasty, Damon Heward was a very important figure inside that quarterback room because Damon Heward, who was technically the backup, and then Brady took that spot, was kind of the guy that was helping Brady along and kind of playing peacemaker in the room. And that's why I think you're going to see the Titans carry 3 quarterbacks this year. But I wanted to address the biggest topic of the day because I know right now your favorite football show, I don't care if it's Pat McAfee, I don't care if it's Colin Cowherd, I don't care if it's the Good Morning Football show where they analyze who wore the best sneakers at the draft. They will be discussing what Ryan Tannehill said today about how it's not his job to mentor Malik Willis. And the one thing that I believe is that it is not his job to mentor Malik Willis. It is his job to not throw 3 interceptions against the Cincinnati Bengals. It is his job to show up and lead the football team, which he did, albeit a little bit late. It is not his job to sit there and look at the draft board and to look at the team and say, okay, I need to take this guy under my wing. Aaron Rodgers, and this shows you the dynamic of the it's business approach to all of this. Aaron Rodgers is furious with the Green Bay Packers, probably even still a little bit, that they drafted Jordan Love 2 years ago. But he doesn't take it out on Jordan Love. He said many times, I love Jordan Love, but he knows Jordan was drafted to take his job, and he got mad about it. That had nothing to do with Jordan Love. And with this, Tannehill knows why Malik's there. Tannehill knows what Malik wants to do. And Tannehill is not going to try to stop Malik from developing. But it's not his job to teach Malik Willis how to play football. It is the job of the head coach, Mike Vrabel. It is the job of the offensive coordinator, Todd Downing. It is the job of the passing game coordinator, Tim Kelly. It is the job of the quarterback coach, Pat O'Hara. It is not Ryan Tannehill's job. So he is going to get raked over the coals by everybody tomorrow on Fox, on ESPN, on Good Morning Football. They're going to say, how dare he? Kurt Warner's already tweeted it out. It's not his job. That's how we're starting today. 615-737-1025. What do we make of Tannehill's comments on Malik Willis? 615-737-1025. What do we think of the press conference overall? Because he was asked some really tough questions. So we'll get to that coming up next. Of course, we will get to your phone, 615-737-1025. Caroline is here. We are hanging out at the Huckleberry Brewery. Again, it used to be Cool Springs Brewery. Now it's Huckleberry Brewery. They got brand new ownership. Tonight, it's like a cold open out here. They have just opened the doors, and they are wanting people to come out to watch the Preds game, and they are going to be pouring the beers. We already met the head brewmaster. And, I mean, he says he's making the good stuff tonight. So come on out. It's next to Sperry's in Cool Springs on Fraser Boulevard and register to win Game 3 tickets at Bridgestone Arena. Come watch the Preds tonight. They got all the TVs here. They'll have the Grizz on, too. Come on out, Stillman & Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN.
Welcome into the DDC.
Stillman & Company is delivered.
There's a new way to hear 102.5 The Game. Nashville's best sports talk on 106.3 FM. From downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and to Murfreesboro on I-24. You now have two choices to hear our great sports programming.
Get the extra point, no problem.
And the Nashville Predators. Scores! Check out 106.3 now and save it as a preset.
The versatile Kubota B-Series is a do-it-all tractor, part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. You can run powerful attachments that can be easily switched out. The Kubota B-Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle, and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
You don't have just an ordinary mom in your life. She's the best. Her work never stops. Her sacrifices are many. Her love is unfailing. This Mother's Day, Genesis Diamonds invites you to join us in celebrating and appreciating the mothers in our lives. Stop in and let one of our trusted advisors help you find a special, meaningful gift. Layering necklaces, stackable rings, eternity bands, pearls, elegant diamond pendants, and of course, stunning diamond earrings. Great Mother's Day ideas for any budget. There's no doubt we love Mom, but sometimes a little extra appreciation goes a long way as a thank you for helping us through challenges, making sacrifices, and always putting the family first. So whether it's her first Mother's Day or her 60th, Mom deserves a gift that's anything but ordinary. And at Genesis, that's our specialty. Exquisite rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, heirloom pieces. Timeless gifts of jewelry that she can enjoy and cherish for decades to come, and always be reminded of how special she is to the family. Genesis Diamonds, online at genesisdiamonds.net.
Come out to Rivergate Mall Food Court on Friday, May 6th between 12:30 and 2:30 to register to win a pair of Preds playoff tickets from ESPN 102.5 The Game. Stop by Sports Seasons while you're at Rivergate Mall for all your Preds game day gear.
Huckleberry Brewing is now open. Formerly Cool Springs Brewery. New owners, new look, fabulous menu, and same great location. So come on out and join us for a live remote on Tuesday, May 3rd with ESPN The Game, as we're proud to be an official Predators watch party destination. Come cheer on our Preds and enjoy one or all of our great craft beers. Our master brewer and friendly staff can't wait to see you. Bring the kids and let them enjoy our game room. Huckleberry Brewing is located at 600A Fraser Drive, next to Sperry's in Cool Springs.
The Game text line is driven by Wilson County Hyundai, online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Be a part of the conversation. Call or text the Game at 615-737-1025.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Stillman and Company on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Yeah, I texted Malik right after we drafted him as well. I wasn't informed of that beforehand, but same thing with AJ, right? The team's going to do the best thing that they think is best interest of the team, and I have no problems with Malik, and we're looking to add talent and guys that can help us. So we'll add him to the room and go from there.
There you go. That was Ryan Tannehill today. Again, Tannehill, when I asked him about, ultimately the dynamic of working with someone who's there to take your job, and he says, it's not my job to mentor him, but didn't say he'd put him down. And to me, that's all you can ask him. It's not his job. He is not paid to coach. He is paid to play. And if he were there to mentor Malik Willis and you lost to I'm trying to think of a random team that you're going to have to play next year, the Packers, because Ryan
play
Tannehill,
the Packers next year.
They do in Green Bay. Ryan Tannehill throws an interception and you lose. On Reaction Monday, your calls are not going to be, well, at least he's mentoring Malik. It's going to be, no, he threw interceptions. And so I didn't have a problem with that. Honestly, I mean, there were a couple things I had problems with that Tannehill said, which we'll get to. But I was 2 feet away from Tannehill. I asked the first question. I probably asked about 5 or 6 of them. I did not have a problem with the "it's not my job to mentor Malik Willis" line that is going to get absolutely blown out of proportion. Your thoughts?
When I first heard Tannehill say that, my initial reaction was, Ryan, what? And then the more and more I thought about it, the more and more I realized he's right. It's not in his job description. It's not in his contract to mentor and groom the person who may or may not take his job in the future. I think a lot of Titans fans may compare it to, Pekka and UC Saros, for example, because we've heard so much about how Pekka really mentored UC Saros, really groomed UC Saros, but I think that's in a completely different situation. Because I think at that point, Pekka was ready to retire. Pekka saw the end of his career coming down the stretch, more so than Ryan Tannehill. I don't think Ryan Tannehill's staring down the barrel of retirement anytime soon. And that's great that Pekka wanted to do that, but he didn't have to. And I think that's the same thing with Ryan Tannehill. If he wanted to mentor Malik Willis, if he wanted to take him under his wing and say, Malik, we've got an extra bedroom in our house, why don't you move in? That'd be great. That'd be fine. But that's not his job. Ryan Tannehill's job is to protect the football and to win football games. And if you haven't listened to this program the past few months, we've been getting onto him a whole heck of a lot for not doing those things, for not taking care of the football, for not winning this football team games. So, I guess I would say, Ryan Tannehill, focus on what is your job, and that is taking care of the football. That is winning football games. And it's not necessarily, making everything sunshine and rainbows for Malik Willis. At the end of the day, this is still football.
So I said to Terry McCormick before the press conference started, I said to Terry, do you think they'll keep Logan? Like, is Logan still the backup? And I think we've talked about it off air, maybe a little bit on air. I talked to my dad on Sunday. We talked a lot about Logan. I think you need Logan here. Because if Malik's not ready to play, then that means that Tannehill is one injury away from, if it's only him and Malik, then Malik has to go in. And I don't like that. If Logan is your backup and Malik is learning, then Logan can go in. I also think you need Logan to be there to work with Malik. And that's a discussion you have to have with Logan. And maybe if Logan doesn't want to do that, then you wait until New England releases Brian Hoyer or whomever that's a veteran backup like that, and you bring that person in to sit behind Tannehill. And you do that, but that guy, that is his job. Like, if you give Brian Hoyer $2 million to be the backup to Tannehill, you tell him when you sign him, hey, Brian, part of your job is to kind of babysit Malik. That's fine. But there's also a part of me that from a competition standpoint, I kind of want Ryan Tannehill to want to keep his job. I kind of want Ryan Tannehill to focus on every snap of trying. If Ryan Tannehill goes out there and is league MVP, we will not be calling for Malik Willis to be the starting quarterback next year. And I kind of like that. And that should be okay too. But Tannehill's job is to win. And why are we mad at Tannehill? Because he didn't win. Why do you want to get a new quarterback? To win. That's his job. Mentoring Malik, they got enough coaches. They can go get a Brian Hoyer when he gets released. Maybe Logan's this guy, but that is what you do. That's what the backup does, not what the starter does. Chris Sanders told me on Friday at the draft show that Chris Chandler didn't even talk to Steve McNair. Chris Chandler had signed to be the veteran, and McNair was taken 3rd overall, and Floyd said, hey, McNair is sitting the bench. And they didn't like each other so much that I was told, I'm not going to tell you who told me, but I was told that Steve McNair walked up into Floyd's office one day. I think this was his rookie year, maybe it was his second year. Walked up into his office and said, I'm going to kick Chris Chandler's ass. And Floyd said, whoa now, you can't do that. And apparently either Chandler or the quarterback coach or somebody else had made a joke, and Steve felt like they had disrespected him. And Steve, to his credit, instead of just losing his mind and, beating Chandler up on the spot, Steve at least went upstairs to Floyd about it. But I don't expect that out of Tannehill and Malik. But again, that's not Tannehill's job is not to mentor Malik. And not only that, Malik is a 3rd-round pick. I know he's first-round hype, and that's why this question's a big deal. That's why this is going to be a big thing, and I kept talking about it yesterday. You get first-round hype with the 86th pick. This is the hype. If this were somebody else, then you wouldn't. I mean, we wouldn't be. Do you think that they talked about this with Eli Manning with Davis Webb? No. But that was because there were first-round quarterbacks in that class. Malik is first-round hype with a third-round pick. And so, to me, I think that the people are going to just skewer Tannehill over this. And as somebody who has spent months skewering Tannehill, I just don't think it's deserved.
I think we understand the intention behind what he said, and I think we both agree that that's not his job, and Tannehill has more important things to focus on. But do you think he was wrong to say it publicly?
No. I think that this is the Twitter society we live in. And maybe this happened too with newspapers and stuff like that, where the quote kind of gets taken out of context. I think this is going to heavily, over the next 20 hours, get taken incredibly out of context. I think Tannehill was saying, hey, I'm glad to have Malik. I know Malik's here to do this, and we're going to be working every day, and that's what football is, just like all the other positions, right? Hassan Haskins would love to be starting running back. But, it's not my job to mentor Malik, but I'm not going to stand in the way from Malik learning, and I'm not going to, and I'm fine with that. But I think the idea, people are going to look at this as Ryan Tannehill perceives Malik Willis as a threat, and that's why Ryan Tannehill is not interested in mentoring Malik Willis. And I go back to the Kurt Warner tweet, because people are going to say, well, hey, Kurt Warner knew what his job was when he went to the Giants, and he mentored Eli Manning, and then Eli took his job. Eli was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. The number 1 pick. When you sign Kurt Warner and he's going to that team that has the number 1 pick and they're going to pick Eli Manning, or I guess, I don't know the logistics of it because the Giants actually picked 4th and the Chargers picked 1st, and then you had the Rivers and Eli trade. But anyway, when you do that, you're signing up to be the mentor. Tannehill didn't sign up to be a mentor. I wonder what happened in Pittsburgh that same year, where Tommy Maddox was the starting quarterback the year before, and I believe the Steelers missed the playoffs, but they had made the playoffs the year before with Maddox, and Maddox was the starter, and they drafted Big Ben, I think, 10th overall. How did Tommy Maddox feel about that? Now, Tommy Maddox got hurt. Ben went in, 15-1 as a rookie. We never heard from Tommy Maddox again. MVP of the XFL. We never heard from him again. But that goes back to my point of it's not Tannehill's job. I mean, he's right. It's not his job, but he's going to get freaking
I think the semantics
barbecued.
of it are a bad look. Because you can interpret that however you want. Because
I
the
thought
first
everything
way that
he said was good. And that when he said that one line, I was like, oh, my God, that's going to be a big deal.
His first statement I don't think was good. To say that it was best for him to stay back in Florida to take care of the renovations. That wasn't great.
That was bad. But again, nobody outside of here cares about that. You know what I mean? They're not going to talk on ESPN tomorrow morning.
Well, that doesn't mean that it's not important.
No, but again, the big story
The big story is here, yes.
This is going to be, because again, it's first-round hype. So again, he's not, Malik Willis is not, I know this is crazy. Malik Willis was picked about, I don't know, 900 value points behind J.P. Lossman. All these, Blaine Gabbert was a first-round pick. I was telling somebody yesterday, look at the NFC South right now. Look at the quarterbacks in that division. Tom Brady was the 199th pick. Jameis Winston was the number 1 pick. Marcus Mariota was the number 2 pick. Sam Darnold was the number 3 pick. Every starting quarterback was a first-round pick for the most part, except for 4 guys, Brady, Dak, Cousins, and Russell Wilson. Everybody else was a first-round pick. Tannehill was a top 10 pick. And so what happens
First or second round.
What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, first or second
Jimmy
round.
and
Yeah.
But, again, the thing I'm saying is, Malik is treated like one of those guys. It's first-round hype. But he's not a first-round pick. And so because it's first-round hype, Tannehill is going to have to deal with it on a first-round hype basis. And so this is going to be the story. This is going to be what people take away from today. Here locally, I'm with you. There's a lot bigger fish to fry with what Tannehill said, and we will get to that. But we'll also get to your phones, and we'll do that next. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. Again, we are live today right here at Huckleberry Brewery. Again, it used to be Cool Springs Brewery. New ownership. We were talking during the break, Caroline and I. Like this, to me, I could see myself getting here at 11 o'clock on like one of these big playoff days where you got games all day and all night and leaving at like 9:30. Like getting at 11 o'clock in the morning and leaving. They got TVs everywhere. They're going to have some food out here. They got we just met the Beer Master. And again, come watch the Preds game tonight, and you can win tickets to Game 3 at Bridgestone Arena. Stillman and Company, we're rocking and rolling. It's ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hi, I'm Jussi Saros. And this is Smashville.
Now here's a try off to the side. What a stop made by Jussi Saros there.
Unreal. You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Hillside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now, 615-576-5000.
Happy Tail Waggin' Tuesday, Sounds fans. Bring your dog to the Nashville Sounds game tonight at First Horizon Park as the team takes on the Norfolk Tides. Proceeds from each dog ticket sold will benefit Wags and Walks Nashville. For more info and tickets, visit NashvilleSounds.com.
It's not too late. Make this the best Mother's Day yet with the perfect gift from Electronic Express. Great deals on top brands like Samsung, LG, Whirlpool, Sony, Cuisinart, Dyson, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department. Computers, 4K TVs, appliances, housewares, furniture, and more. Save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online with free express delivery on most items. Shop spring savings at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
As a mom, you have to plan for everything. But I never planned on my health plan at work costing so much to cover my family. Fortunately, with more than 70 years of experience helping Tennesseans, Farm Bureau health plans help me get family-friendly coverage for a lot less. So I can focus on raising my kids, not my premiums.
Ouch, Mom!
Find out more at fbhp.com. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us.
Tune in to ESPN 102.5 The Game every Tuesday afternoon at 4:30 for ESPN's Trevor Maddich joining me, Jared Stillman, on Stillman and Company as we dive deep into the college football world and all the latest from the SEC. It's all brought to you by Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters.
We've all heard the saying that a little can go a long way. This is especially true during the Big Payback's 24-hour online giving event, helping support hundreds of local nonprofit organizations. From 6 p.m. on May 4th through 6 p.m. on May 5th, a gift as little as $10 could be boosted by cash prizes and help to make a big difference in the life-changing work of local nonprofits. Find out more at thebigpayback.org.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is John Hines, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Ultimately, probably his goal is to take your job.
I mean, that's part of being in a quarterback room in the same room. You know, we're competing against each other. We're watching the same tape. We're doing the same drills. I don't think it's my job to mentor him, but if he learns from me along the way, then that's a great thing.
There you go. That was Tannehill today. And again, not my job to mentor him. People are going to run like crazy with that. We are live out here at Huckleberry Brewery, which used to be Cool Springs Brewery. We got brand new ownership, brand new management out here. They have redone the place up. Again, TVs everywhere. That's right, next to Sperry's in Cool Springs on Fraser Boulevard, giving away a pair of tickets. Come on out, watch the Preds tonight, as we'll have a Preds watch party. The official 102.5 The Game watch party will be right here, and you can register to win those Game 3 tickets. I promised phones, so phones we will have. Phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Adam, kick us off on Tannehill and Malik Willis. Go ahead.
Man, all right, so number one, I loved his candor when it came to him reaching out for help and some of the struggles he had after the season. That's a leader. That is somebody who is seasoned, that will come out and say, hey, community, if you're struggling with something, go get help. He said straight up, I went to therapy. What I didn't like, Jared, and I feel like I've made strides with you, but you always do something to set us back. I did not like you being able to read a room when he had just got done talking about that, and you're like, why did you suck so bad last year when you were good 2 years previous to that? So there's nothing he could say right there. He's not going to come out and say, I don't even know my tight end's name. My offensive line sucked. The best running back that you'll ever see in your lifetime broke his leg 8 weeks in. He can't say any of that to you.
So why are you mad that I asked that question?
It was an unnecessary question. And
why?
You got to be able to read a room. I mean, what's he going to say? He can't give you an answer. So he bumbles out, and he's like,
okay, I'll turn it around on you, Adam. I'll ask you this question. If I don't ask that question, then doesn't it come off for me as some guy who just gets on the radio and yells and screams and does whatever, but then when it comes time to look somebody in the eye, that I'm not willing to ask the questions that I talk about on the air?
Yeah, but listen, man, I think this is the big point. There's like 40 other people in that room. If that question needed to be asked, don't you think one of them would have asked it? There are inappropriate questions. I just thought that was one of them. So
I appreciate your call, Adam, and I guess we can talk about this. I mean, I got to tell you something, and maybe I'll get yelled at for thinking this. First of all, I thought the local media did a good job at asking questions in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I did a great job. And I don't mean this as and I understand, I'm pretty bombastic and can be kind of braggadocious at times and maybe have a slightly inflated sense of self-importance. But I feel like I asked every question that we talk about on the air. And I felt like I did it without, and I was just texting Derek about this earlier today, I felt like I asked directly. I asked the questions that we've been talking about, the answers that we want to know. Why was he not at workouts? Isn't that a bad look to not be at workouts? How do you feel about competing with Malik? Why did you have a bad 21 season when 20 and 19 were? But I did it in a way that I felt like didn't make it about me. And here I am now talking about it after Adam didn't like that I asked the 21 question. But I felt like overall the questions were good. I felt like my questions were direct. They weren't ambiguous, so there was no, he could get out of it, slide his way out of it. I didn't feel like I was combative. I didn't feel like he was combative. I didn't have any problem with any of that, and I was proud of my work today. That's how I felt about it.
Well, I think Journalism 101 or Interviewing 101 says that even though it may be a difficult question, even though it may be a question that you think about, I don't know how they're going to answer this, that doesn't mean you don't ask that question.
Sure.
If it's a question that you have asked before, and it's a question that we've asked on this show so many times until we're blue in the face and saying, was it the line? Was it the receivers?
Sure.
Was it natural regression? Was it the offensive coordinator? Is that a difficult question for Ryan Tannehill to answer? Maybe so. Is he going to tell us the truth? Probably not, but it doesn't mean it's a question that can go unasked. I think that there were a lot of pretty difficult questions asked today about social media, about addressing the media on not addressing the media on Locker Cleanout Day.
Although he wasn't asked about that.
Was he not?
No.
Well,
I was
social media, or why he wasn't there for voluntary workouts. Those questions were asked. Those are difficult questions, and it really kind of put Ryan Tannehill on the hot seat.
I will say this, though, and look, Karski's been doing this for a long time. And I'm not, somebody's going to say, oh, Jared Stillman's taking a shot, Karski. I thought his questions were kind of combative. And again, that's just how he is. He said to me, I asked Tannehill about his contract. Remember, because Charles Robinson said that when a quarterback doesn't show up for voluntary workouts, it's usually contract or coach related. So the last question I asked was, are you happy with your contract? Are you happy with the coach? And, Paul looked at me afterwards and was like, why would he be mad at his contract? He's got the best contract in the league. He's overpaid. Paul is a combative person. And so I thought that his questions were kind of combative. I had no interest in going there to be combative. The other thing I do want to address that Adam asked before I get back to your phones was what did you expect him to say? What did you expect Tannehill to say when you asked him, what did you think he was going to say? My line sucked, my tight end sucked, my receiver sucked, what did you expect him to say? And what my response to that is, it's not my job for him to decide what to say. Like, that's why you ask questions. A guy can tell you whatever he wants to tell you, but you have to ask. And then you can debate whether or not you agree with his answer. It's like I asked the question about trading A.J. Brown, and John Robinson said he didn't foresee it. But instead of what would it take for you to even think about possibly one day, where he can wiggle out of that, you got to ask the question. Could A.J. be traded? I don't foresee it. Okay, that was his answer. I don't think he told the truth, but that was his answer. Evan is up next here on Stillman and Company. Phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Go ahead, Evan.
Hey, guys. First off, I think that Ryan Tannehill didn't make this press conference easier on himself by taking such a long period of silence between the Bengals Lost and today. I think that some of these questions would have been addressed by now if he had chosen to speak either on Lockhart Cleanout Day or any other time. But I am glad that we as a society and sports have gotten to a point where we can have these conversations about mental health and just realize these are people too, they're not just athletes and all that good stuff. But let's be real. Do you think that Tom Brady felt like it was his job to mentor Jimmy Garoppolo? We know Aaron Rodgers doesn't think it's his job to mentor Jordan Love. I think the reason why this will gain so much traction across the national media as far as sports go is because Tannehill's not 100% the guy in Nashville, at least to the outsiders looking in from a national perspective, right? We know that Malik Willis is not a day one ready quarterback. He's going to need time to develop. And so I think that a lot of this is almost like clickbaity from a national perspective. This is a story that will sell, and that's why this is why the story will gain traction, in my opinion. I do want to know before I get off.
I do agree with that point though, because sex sells and quarterback controversy is, it sells.
As sexy as it gets.
It is. What do you want to add in there?
So I want to know, since they probably are going to have three quarterbacks on the roster, where do you think that will impact the team composition for this upcoming season? Because that's a choice that, they are kind of being forced into.
Okay, so here's where I disagree with every football person I've ever talked to, thank you for your call, including the old man that I used to work with. I don't give a poop about the freaking 53rd guy. You have to deactivate 8 of them or whatever it is, 5 of them on game day anyways. So it's like the idea of, we can't carry this guy because, special teams and we need, third quarterback can't have that. I mean, does it really matter? Does it really matter? And I don't know what the rules are going to be. I hope they stay the same, where you can take 2 guys up off the practice squad every week and then send them back to the practice squad. I like that rule, but maybe it won't be here because it's technically a COVID rule. I don't know. But the idea of if they carry a third quarterback, then that means that who doesn't make the team if they carry a third quarterback? Who doesn't make the team? A backup safety special teamer? Who cares?
Well, they do need special teams depth.
No, you don't. You can get that on the practice squad, and you can elevate it before game day. And if you want to deactivate one of the quarterbacks, you can deactivate them. I don't get it. I do not understand. I think it is so dumb. When these people – because I've wondered why they don't carry 3 quarterbacks. The rule used to be that your third quarterback was inactive. So every team had 3. And your third quarterback was inactive, but would dress on game days. And if the first 2 quarterbacks got hurt, then the third quarterback could come in. But if you put the third quarterback in, you couldn't play the either 2 for the rest of the game. I was fine with that rule. Then I think they gave you back an extra open spot on game day. And so teams started using it on, Matt Dickerson, a defensive lineman who played a little bit. And that's fine over the third quarterback. I've always wondered why you don't carry 3 quarterbacks anyways. To me, I think the Titans should carry 3 quarterbacks. I don't care if they're going to have special packages for Malik, which Bill Polian was talking about today, if they're going to do special packages for Malik, then I think you keep all 3 quarterbacks active on game day, unless Malik's ready to go in there and play. Because if Ryan Tannehill, gets concussed, then Malik's going in if you only have 2 active quarterbacks. So I think they should have 3. I think they should carry 3, and they'll be fine. They'll be fine. This is a team that 2 years ago was activating 3 outside linebackers on game day. They'll be fine. It'll be okay if all of a sudden they don't have a backup gunner and the regular gunner has to play all the punt snaps. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And so to me, the roster composition, I think they should carry 3 quarterbacks. I think they will carry 3 quarterbacks. And I think if Malik is not ready to be the backup, and I have no idea if Malik's ready to be the backup or not. I don't know. If he's not,
well, we have a lot of time to figure that out. The Titans have a lot of time to figure that out. It feels like a premature discussion.
We will get to watch the preseason. So, we will get to know those things. 615-737-1025. We will get back to your phone, 615-737-1025. We got a lot more Tannehill to dive through. But I will say this. There is one thing that I am glad Ryan Tannehill finally did. And we'll get to that coming up next. Again, we are live at Huckleberry Brewery. Again, it is brand spanking new. Right next to Sperry's out here on Fraser Boulevard in Cool Springs. If you're looking for a spot to watch the Preds tonight, this is your place. We're giving away a pair of tickets for Game 3 that will be given away at the start of the third period. So come on out, watch the game, have a good time, register to win, and know all about this brand spanking new location here at Huckleberry Brewery. To celebrate summer concert season, get $25 all-in tickets to more than 50 shows in the Nashville area for 1 week only. Text the keyword SUMMER, SUMMER, to the game text line at 615-737-1025 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to a show of your choice at Ascend Amphitheater, Marathon Music Works, and other local venues. Artists to choose from include Train, Jack Johnson, Rod Stewart, and many more. Special offer runs May 4th through the 10th. Get more info at livenation.com/concertweek.
Do you want to help the families of soldiers who gave the ultimate sacrifice? Then join ESPN 1025 and 1063 The Game for the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament, benefiting Folds of Honor, May 16th at Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with athletes, musicians, and other local celebs to support a great cause. Sign up or donate at theGameNashville.com/golf.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red Weather Alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Scattered showers and thunderstorms moving through the mid-state this afternoon and evening, a few of which could be on the strong side. Main threat, gusty winds and hail.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Don't forget to grab your mom something special this year. Shop at Social Furniture for their Mother's Day sale, where everything is in stock. They have sofas, bedroom sets, and top-name brand new mattresses like Purple, Serta, Sealy, and Simmons on sale now. Running out of time? Well, at Social Furniture, there's no waiting and same-day delivery. Use Social Furniture's financing plan and pay no interest for 1 full year. Shop at Social Furniture today on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local. Shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Bring your hive together with Spirited Hive. It's Hive O'Clock. What is Hive O'Clock? It's connecting or celebrating with your hive. A time to be present and create shared memories. At Spirited Hive, we become aficionados discerning what goes best with bourbon, tequila, and vodka in a canned cocktail. Bourbon whiskey with rosemary infused with honey and lemon. Tequila ginger infused with honey and lime. Or vodka cranberry infused with honey and lime. Available to purchase on reservebar.com or tap room for delivery within the hour. Join us at Spirited Hive on Instagram to see what the buzz is all about.
Spring is in the air, and that means all kinds of fun in the sun is just around the corner. But if you're feeling low energy, if you've put on weight and just aren't getting the gains from your workouts, if you aren't sleeping well and your libido isn't what it used to be, maybe you aren't looking forward so much to sunny days and shirtless weather. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if this sounds like you, we might very well have the answer, because you may very well be suffering from low testosterone. And that, my friend, is something that can be effectively treated to get you back to the guy you used to be. The Tennessee Men's Clinic has treated thousands of men for low T. Our treatment programs are highly effective, with most men seeing results in just a few weeks. Assuming you're like most guys, you'll sleep better, have better workouts, have higher energy, and your sex life might just improve as well. So give us a call. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090. Or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra. Results vary.
Huckleberry Brewing is now open. Formerly Cool Springs Brewery. New owners, new look, fabulous menu, and same great location. So come on out and join us for a live remote on Tuesday, May 3rd with ESPN The Game, as we're proud to be an official Predators watch party destination. Come cheer on our Preds and enjoy one or all of our great craft beers. Our master brewer and friendly staff can't wait to see you. Bring the kids and let them enjoy our game room. Huckleberry Brewing is located at 600A Fraser Drive, next to Sperry's in Cool Springs.
Let's plan on having concessions over there.
Mike is remodeling the old family drive-in movie theater.
Go find Gavin. Tell him the sound team is here.
He'll need a new front-of-house cast and behind-the-scenes crew.
Hey, can we talk staffing real quick? I'm thinking at least 6 per shift.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meshing journalism.
They are 2 scores behind you. The math says that increases your chances of winning.
With sports fandom.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, just emotionally numb from Titans and Packers.
And sarcasm.
You guys are the worst.
Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robby and Rexrode. No duh. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
This is Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving.
Stillman and Company, we are live here at the Huckleberry Brewery out here in Cool Springs. Again, the watch party tonight right here for the Preds in game number 1. I do want to get to this, which was one thing is, again, we're talking about the Tannehill and the Malik Willis and not his job to be the mentor and things like that. But one thing that was a big deal to me, and I don't know if it was a big deal to you guys or not, but it was a big deal to me. And it was Ryan Tannehill's reaction to the Bengals loss. Because he kind of talked about it after the game, but then didn't talk about it on the locker cleanout day, and we haven't heard from him since. So Tannehill was asked about the loss to the Bengals. Here's what he said.
The playoff loss still linger with you and bother you, and do you, I guess, listen to any of the things that are said, you know, in terms of people wanting to put the blame on you for that loss?
It's a scar. It's a deep scar. You know, it was a lot of sleepless nights. Every time I closed my eyes, I was rewatching the game in my head. Didn't get a whole lot of sleep for weeks and weeks after the game. Was in a dark place, and it took me a while and a lot of work to get out of it. You know, it wasn't something that went away easily. Man, it's still a scar that I'll carry with me, you know, throughout the rest of my life, you know. But just like a cut on your arm, you know, starts off as a wound. You're able to heal from it, and it turns into a scar. It never leaves you, but it's always there, and it can remind you. And now it's fuel for me. It's fuel for me to work and get ready with a passion and come into the season with a fire and you know, a desire to win like I've never had before.
Was that hard to say?
I mean, I'm sure it was probably hard for him to say. I'm not going to say, wow, you know, Brian, that was easy, because that was pretty vulnerable on his part.
Just tell us what you think. Just tell us how you feel. And he was asked about how he got out of that dark place after the Bengals lost. Here's what he said.
No, I've kind of worked through it. Like I said, it's a scar that sticks with me, but therapy, you know, talking to people, time, all of the above. Yeah, it was tough. You know, it was tough. You know, it's not a situation you want to be in. You know, you prepare so long and so hard to put yourself in the position to go chase your dreams and to go out and play beneath the standard that I have for myself. It stung, hurt, and like I said, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of reflecting, rewatching the game over and over in my head. But yeah, it took a lot of work to get through it. You know, it wasn't a day, it wasn't a week, it was weeks and weeks and weeks to get through it. You know, a lot of sessions, and you know, at this point, I can look back at it, recognize it for what it was, and learn from it, and move on.
Good. Good. Like, the Bengals game should bother you. Like, this bothers when Michael Jordan lost to the Pistons, it bothered him. When Brady loses, it bothers him more than he wins. That's what it should be. Like, this should be hard. When you lose the game and everybody's counting on you and you make the money he makes and you play the position he plays, that's how it should feel. That's all I'm asking for.
I mean, I don't want to hear that he struggled so badly that he was in a dark place and he went to therapy. Like, that doesn't make me feel better inside that he threw 3 interceptions and was in a very dark place for a month or 2 or however long it was.
I get it.
I don't, it doesn't make me feel better. It doesn't undo what he did in that Bengals game.
No.
But hearing some accountability, I think that's what we've been asking for the past couple of months is, hearing accountability, hearing that, hey, I messed up. What I did was wrong. That, I need to be better than that. My job is to protect the football. My job is to be better than that. That's what my dream has always been. No, it doesn't make me feel better that he was in such a bad place. No, it doesn't make me feel better hearing that. But just being able to communicate with Ryan that he was in a dark place.
It makes me feel better. No, not that. I mean, it should hurt. It should hurt.
Yeah, and that's what we have said several times. It should be frustrating.
Problem. That was my problem with the whole thing was after they lost the game. It was I didn't think I'd be here. I thought we'd take it down there. I thought there has to be some level of, hey, I got us beat. I'm the one who lost us the game. I got us beat. I ruined the season. There has to be some level of that.
The accountability I appreciate.
And that was essentially admitting to that. And the dark place in the therapy, and honestly, I go to therapy. I talk about it, not often, but I do. And, yes, it should hurt. It should hurt. If you've ever been a part of a team and you've come so close and you've lost.
It's hard.
It hurts. It hurts. We lost the national championship in women's basketball my freshman year, and it hurt. So, I know that feeling. I didn't cost my team the game, obviously. I didn't play. But, it hurts. And it's going to hurt. And it's going to continue to hurt. And it should continue to hurt. And I'm cool with it. I just appreciate the fact that he brought it up. Let's go back to your phones. 615-737-1025. What do we have?
Pat in Franklin texts in and says, Tannehill didn't need to bring up the fact that his job was not to mentor Malik. He's mad that they drafted Malik and didn't know about it. It's not their job to let you know that either. Not a good look from Tannehill to be saying that.
Do you think that Tannehill, you heard the whole press conference, right?
Yeah.
I was sitting 5 feet away from Tannehill, and I asked half the questions. Do you think Tannehill was mad that they drafted Malik?
Whenever he was asked questions about, let's say the Malik Willis and then the A.J. Brown situation, there was a very obvious difference in tone. When asked about Robert Woods, there was a very obvious difference in tone. He was obviously very excited to bring in Robert Woods. He was excited about the kind of player that he is. When asked about Malik Willis, it had a very different tone. And that, I forgot the exact words that he said, but whenever he was asked about Malik Willis, he said, not necessarily that he was overly excited about it, but just that it happened. He said, you know what, they didn't tell me about it. I felt a little bit of animosity there, that he wasn't very pleased that they didn't tell him beforehand. Do they have to tell him? No. But I got the vibe that he was really? You can't at least tell me beforehand? Or is he mad that they drafted Malik Willis? I don't think he's necessarily mad, but I don't think he's happy about it.
I didn't get that vibe.
I did.
I really didn't get that vibe.
Every time he was asked about Malik Willis, I think there was a little sense of frustration there.
I didn't get I know this is going to sound crazy. I didn't feel that at all. I was sitting right there.
I did. Because when he was asked about AJ, there was obviously, it was a heavy heart a little bit. He was like, no, I love AJ. AJ's my friend. I'm close with AJ. When asked about Robert Woods, he was like, yeah, great player. Excited to go out and throw with him. And then with Malik Willis, it was very much so a chip on his shoulder type of vibe that I got from him.
I didn't get that. Let's pick up on your phone. 615-737-1025. And they are coming for Tannehill. And I will say who they are next as we are live once again. They already got the chicken and the French fries out in front of us, and I can smell it. And it is fantastic out here at Huckleberry Brewery again tonight. Preds Watch Party right here. The official 1025 The Game Preds Watch Party. Come on out. Watch Predators 8:30 puck drop. We'll be giving away tickets to Game 3. So this is your spot to watch a game. Out here in Cool Springs, Fraser Boulevard, right next to Sperry's. So just put Sperry's or whatever in your phone and come on out. But again, we're giving away tickets for game number 3, so you can win those. We'll give those away at the start of the third period. Stillman and Company, it's ESPN 1025 The Game.
The voice of reason.
No, you blew it. That's what happened. It didn't slip away. You blew it.
The voice of the fan.
The officials had let that game get out of control before anything got thrown.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Now through May 10th, join a clean and spacious Planet Fitness for $1 down and only $10 a month. With tons of equipment and free fitness training, it's the perfect place for everybody to work out.
Even me, Mr. I can't sleep at night, so I keep dozing off during the day.
Especially you, Snoozy. You'll rest easier and feel fit-tacular.
Wait, how did you get in here?
Join in club or at planetfitness.com. $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Hurry, deal ends May 10th. See club for details.
Golfers, swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the new Ping I-525 irons and Glide 4.0 wedges. The Ping I-525 irons have a forged steel face, allowing for dynamic distance and a greater feel. The next generation Glide 4.0 specialty wedges are engineered for high-spin performance with a lower launch. Get a free custom fitting today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high-quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop into Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands, including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
You don't have just an ordinary mom in your life. She's the best. Her work never stops. Her sacrifices are many. Her love is unfailing. This Mother's Day, Genesis Diamonds invites you to join us in celebrating and appreciating the mothers in our lives. Stop in and let one of our trusted advisors help you find a special, meaningful gift. Layering necklaces, stackable rings, eternity bands, pearls, elegant diamond pendants, and of course, stunning diamond earrings. Great Mother's Day ideas for any budget. There's no doubt we love Mom, but sometimes a little extra appreciation goes a long way as a thank you for helping us through challenges, making sacrifices, and always putting the family first. So whether it's her first Mother's Day or her 60th, Mom deserves a gift that's anything but ordinary. And at Genesis, that's our specialty. Exquisite rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, heirloom pieces. Timeless gifts of jewelry that she can enjoy and cherish for decades to come, and always be reminded of how special she is to the family. Genesis Diamonds, online at genesisdiamonds.net.
Jamie's log. Progressive. The Harrington's backyard. Day 4, 2:18 a.m. I've been camping outside the Harrington house for 4 days now, proving that Progressive has 24/7 protection. Mr. Harrington says I don't need to do this, since Progressive protects 24/7 is a pretty easy concept to grasp, but I'm going to stay and prove my point. Besides, there's a big tree branch over the roof, and I think it's planning something.
Progressive doesn't just offer a great price when you bundle home and auto. We offer round-the-clock protection. Just not literally from Jamie. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers, and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving, ESPN 102.5 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry, live from the Hillside Medical Game Studios, where we are live today at Huckleberry Brewery. Again, this used to be Cool Springs Brewery. New ownership, new management. They have just opened the doors and have greeted us with wonderful chicken and fries, which I keep smelling and I haven't eaten yet.
Very
and
good.
I honestly just want to go right back to break so I can eat all this stuff and I can drink all the beer here. But again, tonight it's kind of like the cold open. This place is freaking awesome, and it is the cold open with the Preds Bud Light Watch Party here tonight. Come register to win a pair of Game 3 tickets next to Sperry in Cool Springs on Fraser Boulevard. Now, Ryan Tannehill is catching the heat. So Ryan Tannehill's press conference today, we talked about it. I asked the question about the dynamic between he and Malik Willis, knowing at the end of the day, like, Malik's there to take his job. And if Malik doesn't take his job, then we'll look at Malik and say, yeah, that pick didn't work out. If Malik does take his job, then we'll say it was a great pick. Like, that's the whole point of all of this. And I asked Tannehill about that dynamic. This is what Tannehill said.
I mean, that's part of being in a quarterback room in the same room. You know, we're competing against each other. We're watching the same tape. We're doing the same drills. I don't think it's my job to mentor him, but if he learns from me along the way, then that's a great thing.
And now he is catching heat.
He is under fire.
Kurt Warner, Twitter. I will never understand the I'm not here to mentor the next guy mentality. So for all the young QBs that need a mentor, DM me and I'll be that guy. Happy to help any way I can. I don't understand Tannehill. I'll be here for you. First of all, Kurt Warner drives me insane. I mean, for one,
what's your beef with Kurt Warner?
His movie sucked. Which I didn't see, but it looked like trash.
You didn't watch it.
I didn't, but it looked so poorly produced that I couldn't even bring myself to watch it.
No, that take is thrown out the window. No. That's invalid.
Nope.
Invalid take.
I mean, you get some real cinematography, and then we can consider it. Two,
did he even have anything to do with that movie?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kurt Warner belongs nowhere near the Hall of Fame. I don't know how he got in there. I mean, he won 2 MVPs, 1 Super Bowl, and played another. Like, his career to me just wasn't good enough. He and Warren Moon. But Warren Moon, it's the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and he dominated in Canada.
Again, not his doing.
But Kurt Warner has no business in the Hall of Fame. And not only that, I mean, I thought he should be the Monday Night Football analyst. But, this right here is a shot at Tannehill. The second thing, Ryan Clark, who's under some fire himself anyways. Ryan Clark says, quote, I see Ryan Tannehill is on his, quote, not my job to mentor energy. It's not, but man, it makes you a good teammate. You can win without your QB being a good teammate, but the better for the team if he is. What a leader. I guess the Steelers DBs had it wrong all the time with the rookies, and then he puts the little poop emoji, so rookies and
stuff.
Barstool Sports. Titans quarterback Ryan Tannehill is going full Brett Favre with his refusal to mentor Malik Willis. And I got to say, as the person who asked the question, as the person he was looking at when he answered the question, hearing the whole clip right there where he talked about the fact that Malik being on the team, he knows why Malik's there, that they're going to be together if he takes something good. But, I got to focus on winning games. I have no problem with what Tannehill said, and I can't believe that I'm the one person in the world, apparently, that's out here to defend Ryan Tannehill when I've spent the last 4 months doing the exact opposite.
That's pretty shocking. But to the point of Ryan Clark saying, no, it's not your job to mentor Malik Willis, but it makes you a good teammate.
Well, let's talk about Ryan Clark for a second.
I don't think it's binary.
Let's talk about Ryan Clark for a second.
Okay.
So Ryan Clark, have you seen this Sage Steele lawsuit?
Yes, I have.
So Sage Steele has sued ESPN because she went on some right-wing podcast or something. And
I don't think it was a right-wing podcast. I think it was just a podcast.
I think it was a right-wing podcast. I could be wrong. She went on some podcast, and she took cracks at vaccine mandates and ESPN for having one and Obama and whatever. And honestly, I don't care. But other people do. And so she felt shunned at ESPN, so she was hosting. And so Ryan Clark didn't do the SportsCenter, just didn't show up to do SportsCenter because he said, I won't do it unless you replace her with somebody else. That is not doing your job.
That's being a bad teammate.
That's not doing your job. If you are a SportsCenter contributor, which Ryan Clark is, and I think he makes a lot of money for doing that, your job, even if you don't like the person or have the same views as the person who is asking you the questions, your job is to do it. And to say, well, she's against vaccine mandates, so I don't want to do it, that's not doing your job. Ryan Tannehill's job is not to mentor Malik Willis. His job is not to coach Malik Willis. His job is not to teach Malik Willis anything. His job is to win football games for the Tennessee Titans. That is his job.
And I don't think that being a good teammate is binary. Just because Ryan Tannehill isn't necessarily planning on taking Malik Willis under his wing and being his go-to guy and being his go-to mentor, doesn't mean that he's going to be locking him out of the room or being mean to Malik Willis. It doesn't make him a bad teammate. I think there are a lot of things that you can do to be a good teammate without necessarily going out of your way and guiding someone and kind of being the mother duckling to a young quarterback. I don't think that makes him a bad teammate or a good teammate. He's just saying, look, these are let's go into the season with the expectations that I'm not necessarily going to go out of my way to guide Malik Willis and be his mentor.
I don't even think that he meant it like that. I think he meant
He said, I'm not going to mentor Malik Willis. I think that's exactly what he meant.
I think he meant it like, yeah, I'm just doing my job, and I hope Malik gets better along the way, and that's what we're like.
And I don't think that makes you a bad teammate. I think there are probably plenty of guys on that team that don't go out of their way to mentor other teammates, but that doesn't make them a bad teammate. And just because they didn't explicitly say it doesn't mean that they are bad teammates.
I'll say this about Tannehill. I think Tannehill is not a good leader. Like I will say it. I think Ryan, and I don't think that he's. You know the difference between malicious and ignorance?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's malicious.
No.
When it comes to his bad leadership. I think it is ignorance. I asked him today, the first question, if we can get that, Elijah, the first question I asked him today was about why weren't you at voluntary workouts? You know, the biggest argument, and you got Jeffrey Simmons, mandatory or voluntary, and everybody else. So I just asked him, why? First question of the press conference, why were you not at voluntary workouts? Ryan, why did you miss the beginning of voluntary workouts?
It was just the best thing for me and my family to take in a couple extra weeks, finishing up a renovation in Florida, and it felt like the best thing for me to mentally and physically prepare was spend a couple extra weeks with my family, and then started phase 2 here to work with the guys on the field.
And I don't think Tannehill thinks it by saying, hey, I just think it was best for me and my family, and I have some renovations. Like, I don't think Tannehill thinks, from what I know of Tannehill, I don't think Tannehill said that and thought, everybody's going to look at you and say, renovations. Like, you make $30 million a year. We do not want to hear about the renovations of your house. You are the starting quarterback. But again, to me, this is the difference between the ignorant side of this and the maliciousness of, I was busy with my renovations and team be damned. And I just think that that's just how Tannehill thinks. And I think he thinks wrongly in this case. But again, that's leadership. As far as teammate is concerned, I don't think Tannehill's a bad teammate. And I'll use the Marcus situation as an example of this. When Marcus was the starting quarterback and the Titans said right away, Marcus is the starter and Tannehill is the backup, and Tannehill acted like a backup, and when a quarterback controversy was getting started in training camp, it ended after a preseason game when they talked to Ryan Tannehill and they said, competing for the starting job, and Tannehill said, that's news to me. I'm the backup. And then after the job got switched, Tannehill talked about how at times he had to hold his tongue, but that was his role, being a backup. That's being a good teammate. When Mariota and Tannehill hug it out after they lost to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, and Mariota, who was a great teammate and not a great leader, and I love Marcus, but when Marcus was hugging Tannehill talking about, bro, I'm so happy for you, you're going to do great things, and they were hugging it out, they're good teammates. There's a difference, though, between teammate and leader. But I don't think him saying that it's not his job to mentor Malik Willis, this is me. I don't think it makes him a bad leader. It absolutely does not make him a bad teammate. And Ryan Tannehill, and I will say this, again, I understand the irony of me being, the chief Ryan Tannehill defender today. Ryan Tannehill's not a bad teammate. I've covered Ryan Tannehill now for 4 years. He's not a bad teammate. I think his leadership is overblown significantly. I think his sense of reality at that position, outside of the game, I think he struggles with. With a guy who's been a starting quarterback for 2 franchises and has been a starter for almost a decade, there's just certain things that I wish he just understood. And I don't think he does. But bad leader, bad teammate, no. A bad teammate is somebody, and I work in broadcasting, when I know that you're supposed to be there at a certain time and then you're not there because my political views are different than yours, that's a bad teammate. So I don't need to hear Ryan Clark sit there and tell Ryan Tannehill what to do. And I certainly, again, when Ryan Tannehill signs his contract, Does it say, hey, we want you to mentor the quarterback we're going to draft in 3 years to eventually take your job? No. Now, if they bring in a backup quarterback, let's say, and I keep going back to Brian Hoyer, let's say that Hoyer gets released in New England where they just drafted Bailey Zappi and Hoyer's available, and so the Titans cut Woodside and they sign Hoyer for $1 million, $2 million. When they sign Brian Hoyer, part of the agreement will be, Brian, you will be, helping Malik along. And he understands that. Just like Neil O'Donnell realized that his job was to help Steve McNair along. But this idea, I'm not here to mentor, the boohoo mentor crew. This idea of it's Tannehill's job or, it's being a good teammate to mentor him along. No, being a good teammate is showing up every day and doing what you're supposed to do. That's being a good teammate. Being a bad teammate is being selfish. Being a bad teammate is, somebody who, oh, no, I won't do this unless it's done for me. That's being a bad teammate. Now, leadership, I think you can question Tannehill's leadership, especially after today and some of the things he said. I just don't think he gets it. I just don't think he understands it. But the smoke he's getting from the national media and the things that will be said, because as we said in the first hour of the show, a quarterback controversy sells, I think is unwarranted. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We are to your phones, 615-737-1025. And then at some point today, we will get to the other stuff Tannehill said because I find it fascinating. But again, the big story today, Tannehill and Malik. What do you think? 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Stillman and Company. Again, we are live out here hanging out at Huckleberry Brewery out here in Franklin and Cool Springs. Again, I got to get the difference between Cool Springs, Brentwood, Franklin. Only lived here my entire life and still struggle with that. But it's right next to Sperry's on Fraser Boulevard where we will be giving away tickets for game number 3 right here on the program, 615-737-1025. Join 1025 The Game and the Preds Energy team this Thursday night to root on the Predators as they face on the Colorado Avalanche in Game 2. So this is Thursday, Game 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs at Headquarters Beercade for the Preds Bud Light Watch Party. Come enjoy great drink specials, including $6 select cans and a $10 Preds cocktail, and enter to win tickets to the Round 1 Game 3 game on Saturday at Bridgestone Arena. It's the Preds Bud Light Watch Party at Headquarters Beercade, 114 2nd Avenue South downtown. Puck drops at 8:30 Thursday night.
At some point, it's a combination of who did you play and what does your skill set look like.
Get the best analysis of the big stories in the sports world with ESPN's Jason Fitz.
If you reach for a quarterback in the draft because you need one, you're going to set your franchise back 5 years.
Join Fitzy every Wednesday at 4:30. Presented by Blood Assurance. Jason Fitz.
I am 5'9.5".
On ESPN
1025 and 1063 The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
Whatever you love listening to, you'll find it on Audible. Best-selling audiobooks, exclusive originals, podcasts, and more. Sign up and start free at audible.com.
Willie Donick here for Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Proud to announce that they have won the Top Gun Award for the best Pella sales organization in the U.S. They have the best culture, best customer satisfaction, and best growth in the business. To celebrate, Pella is offering their amazingly affordable products at 0% financing with no payments for 12 months. Do you need new doors or windows? I suggest you shop with Nashville's Pella experts at Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Go to PellaofNashville.com.
I love my mom because she's kind. I love my mom because she keeps me safe and takes care of me. I love my mom because she gives great hugs. I love my mom because she is funny and plays games with me.
At Rivergate Mall, we think moms are the best, and we think moms need to be pampered for all they do in our lives. So come on out to Rivergate Mall and shop for that unique and special gift that says how much you love your mom. Visit rivergate-mall.com for their list of gift ideas. Rivergate Mall, a place that loves our moms.
You're the one everyone looks to for answers. Come rain or shine, the job must get done, and you're the one who makes it happen. We get you, Jackie in Fresno, putting your employee safety first. And Manny in Chattanooga, whose local Granger team knows him by name. We're here for you and all the ones who get it done, with 24/7 customer support and access to product specialists to help you find what you need. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you want to help the families of soldiers who gave the ultimate sacrifice? Then join ESPN 1025 The Game for the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament, benefiting Folds of Honor, May 16th at Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with athletes, musicians, and other local celebs to support a great cause and have loads of fun. Plus, you have the chance to win awesome prizes like a flyaway to Vegas or even a new car for a hole-in-one. Sign up to play, sponsor, or donate at thegamenashville.com/golf.
Interact with Stillman and Company. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Yeah, I texted Malik right after we drafted him as well. I wasn't informed of that beforehand, but same thing with AJ, right? The team's going to do the best thing that they think is best interest of the team, and I have no problems with Malik, and we're looking to add talent and guys that can help us. So, we'll add him to the room and go from there.
There you go. That was Ryan Tannehill. And again, the big comment that everybody's making a big deal about is the mentor comment. It's not my job to mentor Malik Willis. And I did promise phones. Derek Mason has texted me, our very own D. Mace. And he said, a mentor is a person or friend who guides a less experienced person by building trust and modeling positive behaviors. So Ryan shouldn't be this to Malik. You are looking at mentorship in the wrong way. In team sports, the older guy, warranted or not, becomes the mentor of the younger guy, especially one in Ryan's position. This isn't your traditional workplace. So I would say this. From my interpretation of what Tannehill said, I believe Tannehill said, I'm going to do things the way that I've got to do them. And if Malik learns something from it, good. But I'm not inviting Malik over at 3 o'clock in the morning to go over film from his practice tape to sit there and say, well, you know what? You should have looked off that safety and thrown over here. And if Malik can sit there in the same room and see how Tannehill operates and then ask questions to Tannehill, I expect Tannehill to be like, yeah, Malik, the reason why I threw that ball to Nick Westbrook-Akina and not Robert Woods on 3rd and 8 is because the safety was shaded over there, and so I had to look off the safety, and then I had to put the ball over there. I expect Tannehill to do that. From what I heard today, I think Tannehill is planning to do that. I just don't think he's planning to, have Malik stay at his house over the weekend. That's the difference between the two. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's the vibe that I get as far as what Tannehill meant. And again, I'm the one who asked it and what it said. And I think people are going to just run with this and it's going to blow up like wildfire. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Well, I think also some people may be running with it because it may be taken out of context. I think when you actually listen to what Ryan Tannehill said, it kind of makes sense because I look at it kind of like a tier. You can be intentionally malicious, which I did not get that vibe from Ryan Tannehill from what he said. You can be a teammate and you can be a mentor. And I feel like with being an older teammate in the same position group, there's also a natural progression into being a mentor. Like Malik Willis will learn something from Ryan Tannehill, but there is that next tier of being intentionally a mentor and inviting him over to his house and breaking down film with him and going out of his way in order to guide Malik Willis. I think that just Ryan Tannehill will probably have just a natural sense of mentorship and just leadership just because that's what role he is in, but he's not going to go out of his way in order to do that. And I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with that.
Well, I also go back to the whole do your job thing. Like, again, this is a Patriot organization, and we talk about the Patriot way, and we talk about doing your job, and we talk about... So I was actually looking for it during the break in the book, the Seth Wickersham book that I read, that goes inside. Floyd told me this story, and the details changed, like the position group changed, but it was the same story. And I read it in here, and Floyd told it to me as defensive line, but I think it was technically wide receivers. The Patriots either drafted or signed a new receiver. And so the media asked the question about the receiver, and the receiver was like, this is the best receiver room I have ever been in. These are the most talented receivers I've ever played with. These guys are awesome. We're great. We're this, we're that. And Belichick, in a team meeting in front of everybody, asked the wide receiver that they had just acquired how many days that he had spent scouting wide receivers. How many wide receivers have you drafted? How many college games have you scouted? How many guys have you... And Bill said, 0. That's not your job to evaluate the wide receivers. Your job is to get open and catch the ball. Do your job. And when it comes to mentoring and coaching up Malik Willis, that's not Tannehill's job. That is the 15 coaches that they have that are involved in throwing the football. It's not Tannehill's job. Tannehill's job, we will crucify Tannehill. If he's the best leader that the world has ever seen, and he throws a bunch of interceptions and they lose, we will crucify him. And so that's his job, is to get that figured out. I don't know about you, but I don't think the Titans can win the Super Bowl with Tannehill as the quarterback, but I expect him to try. That's his job, not the being a mentor to Malik. And I think there's two different ways to do this. I keep going back to the Peter King article where Pat Mahomes, the pitcher, was just stunned at how Alex Smith worked with Mahomes, because he went up to Jack Morris when he was a young pitcher of the Minnesota Twins. Here you go. Here's the quote. That's what was so admirable about what Alex did all season for him, Pat Mahomes said. I know how it was when I came up to the Twins in 1992. I remember one time that year asking Jack Morris how he threw his split-finger fastball. He said, "Get away from me, you little MF. You'll be trying to take my job next year." I don't think Tannehill's doing that.
No, that's like going out of your way to be vindictive and mean.
I mean, Jack Morris is like one of the biggest. I mean, Jack Morris right now I think is suspended. He might have gotten fired from broadcasting because he made like a racial joke about Shohei Ohtani. So like Jack Morris is not Mr. Character. But I'm not saying that Tannehill has to. I don't think that Tannehill has to stay awake at night worried about Malik Willis's development. Tannehill needs to stay awake at night trying to figure out how to beat the Bills' defense. That's his job. That's just me, though. Let's go to your phone. 615-737-1025. Phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Kyle texts in and says, being a good teammate requires that person to do everything in their power to make their other teammates better. What if Tannehill gets injured for the year in Game 1 and Malik Willis is our starter for the entire year? Does Tannehill have no obligation to help him along to try and obtain more wins?
I don't know that. I mean, first of all, it's an incredible hypothetical. But I'm going to keep going back to Brady and Bledsoe, right? So Brady and Bledsoe were tight. I mean, watch the first episode of Man in the Arena. And Bledsoe talked about how as soon as he got to know Tom Brady, he liked Tom. And he thought that Tom was going to be in the league for a while as a backup. And so there's like footage of them on the sidelines during a preseason game of Bledsoe with his ball cap on and Brady with his helmet on, or about to put his helmet on. And Bledsoe's asking Brady, like, what plays do you like to run? And Brady's like, I like sticks. I like 11 cross. I like this one. I don't like that one. And Bledsoe's like, so then don't run that one. But and then there was one where Drew was throwing on the sidelines during a game, and Brady was like, let me get a throw in. And Bledsoe looked at him and goes, you just want to throw one so you can get on TV. And they both laughed at each other. Like, I expect Ryan to be that way with Malik. But I don't expect Ryan to spend every waking hour of every day worried about the development of Malik Willis. And I also
don't think that's the role of a mentor, is to spend every waking hour every day worried about Malik Willis.
But if that's your job.
If that's your job, yes.
And
like if you're a quarterback's coach, no.
And all he said was it wasn't his job. I don't think in a preseason game, and I think this is what he said, like he knows the reality of the situation. I think he's going to be rooting for Malik Willis on the sidelines of the preseason game. If you're a bad mentor, remember I talked about the three, the guy who all he wants to do is take you under his wing. Mm-hmm. Then there's the guy that's like, hey, like I'm the starting quarterback, but questions? Ask. Mm-hmm. I'm here for you. We're in the same meeting rooms. We're doing the same things. We're working together. You know, that. And then the third guy, which is get away from me, Jack Morris style. I mean, I think in that situation would be number two. Tannehill's got a job to do. But when he is on the sidelines, let's just take the preseason. They're going to scrimmage with the Buccaneers. And so Tannehill's not going to play that game. In fact, they've got two scrimmages with Arizona and with Tampa Bay. And so I wouldn't expect Tannehill to play a single down of the preseason. So I think Malik's going to play a lot during the preseason. And when Malik plays, I think that you will see Tannehill with his ball cap on and with his little radio or his headset on. And I think you will see Tannehill and Logan sitting over there with Malik, you know, and the quarterback coach and the coordinator. You know, well, Malik, you know, if that guy's going to go 9 yards out the hash mark, you've got to then look him to the other side and then swing the ball the other way. I think he's going to do that. And that's what I got from what Tannehill said today, and he said it to me.
And going back to the first part of this text, being a good teammate requires that person to do everything in their power to make their other teammates better. I don't know if that's necessarily accurate. When you're on an airplane and they say, in case of emergency and the masks come down, put yours on before you assist someone else. It's because you can't necessarily always help other people if you don't help yourself first. And I think that Ryan Tannehill has plenty of issues that he needs to address on the field before he takes Malik Willis under his wing and spends every waking moment concerned about him.
615-737-1025. We'll get back to your phones. Tannehill did address some really important questions, which I do want to get to. And so we will do that next. 615-737-1025. And we will circle back to the Malik stuff. But, again, the smoke Tannehill's about to catch across the country and is catching, I don't think is fair. Stillman and Company, we are live hanging out here again at Huckleberry Brewery. It's brand new right next to Sperry's on Fraser Boulevard. Again, tonight the watch party right here, 8:30 Preds and the Colorado Avalanche. It'll be right here at Huckleberry Brewery. You can win tickets to Game 3. We are excited to be here. Come on out tonight at 8:30 to watch the game here on Stillman and Company. 615-737-1025 is that phone number if you would like to get in. And I am looking for this email so I can tell all the fine folks all the very important stuff. There is a new way to hear us on Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game. Check us out on 106.3 from downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and Murfreesboro on I-24. You now have two choices to hear our great sports programming and the Nashville Predators. Check out 106.3 now and save it as a preset.
The NFL draft is in the books, and the Tennessee Titans were busy.
Tennessee Titans select Traylon Burks, Raja McQuarrie,
adding many key pieces to Mike Vrabel's squad.
Nicholas Petit-Ferrer, Malik Willis.
What impact will the players have for the two-tone blue?
Regardless of who he is, he's got to fit the identity of your team.
The Titans are going to play football in September.
Keep it locked to Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
At the law office of Amanda J. Gentry, we are committed to defending your rights. Being arrested doesn't have to be the worst day of your life. Being served with custody paperwork doesn't have to be the worst day of your life. It may feel that way, but if you have Amanda J. Gentry representing you, you can feel confident that you're going to have the best quality representation in all of Middle Tennessee. Amanda J. Gentry goes wherever justice demands. 615-604-6263. AmandaJGentry.com.
You don't have just an ordinary mom in your life. She's the best. Her work never stops. Her sacrifices are many. Her love is unfailing. This Mother's Day, Genesis Diamonds invites you to join us in celebrating and appreciating the mothers in our lives. Stop in and let one of our trusted advisors help you find a special, meaningful gift. Layering necklaces, stackable rings, eternity bands, pearls, elegant diamond pendants, and of course, stunning diamond earrings. Great Mother's Day ideas for any budget. There's no doubt we love Mom, but sometimes a little extra appreciation goes a long way as a thank you for helping us through challenges, making sacrifices, and always putting the family first. So whether it's her first Mother's Day or her 60th, Mom deserves a gift that's anything but ordinary. And at Genesis, that's our specialty. Exquisite rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, heirloom pieces. Timeless gifts of jewelry that she can enjoy and cherish for decades to come, and always be reminded of how special she is to the family. Genesis Diamonds, online at genesisdiamonds.net.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Parman is now hiring and seeking qualified candidates for construction equipment truck drivers, service technicians, and more. Apply at parmantractor.com or call 615-865-7800. Come be an employee owner with the Parman team, your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer.
Trying to find a new home right now is next to impossible. Very little inventory, prices are crazy high, rates are moving up. Here's a better idea. Let my friends at Loan Pronto refinance your current home, turn all that equity you have into cash, and totally transform your house. A new kitchen, new bathroom, a pool. Think about it. Your home value is up. Instead of wasting all that on an overpriced new house, convert that equity into cash for a home makeover. One local couple did it and got $200,000 out. They added new hardwoods, an outdoor living space, A swimming pool with spa and all new cabinets and appliances, plus a home office. Now they have their dream home, and they never had to move. Call Lone Pronto. Ask about their home improvement refi. Give your home a total makeover and do it now. You can even skip your next house payment in the process. Call now, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval.
The Ainsworth Nashville has been bringing a sophisticated twist to the classic All-American Sports Bar, restaurant, and private event experience in Midtown since 2018. Our multi-purpose venue consists of a full-scale restaurant, bar and lounge, and event space. Come for the wings, stay for our happy hour, and visit us for brunch on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We've got the good times to keep you singing all night long. The Ainsworth Nashville. Burgers, cocktails, sports.
Visit the Ainsworth at 206 21st Avenue South in Nashville or online at theainsworth.com.
The sounds.
Play ball! It's gone! A grand slam for Mark Mathias.
The Nashville Sounds are back at First Horizon Park as they take on Norfolk.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Sounds win.
Coverage begins at 6:20 on your home for the Sounds.
ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, it's Max Kellerman, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Stillman and Company, we are live at Huckleberry Brewery here in Cool Springs. It used to be Cool Springs Brewery. We got new ownership, new management. We got a cold open tonight with a watch party, 8:30 tonight for the Preds and the Avs next to Sperry's in Cool Springs Boulevard, or in Cool Springs on Fraser Boulevard. And again, we're giving away a pair of tickets right here on the right here at the watch party tonight. I do want to tell all the fine folks to join Robby Stanley this Friday at the food court in Rivergate Mall from 12:30 to 2:30. Come out and get registered to win a pair of tickets to round one, game 3 of the Stanley Cup playoffs as the Predators take on the Avalanche at Bridgestone Arena on Saturday. That's this Friday at the Rivergate Mall in the food court from 12:30 to 2:30. And you can read the last part of that.
That's okay.
Okay. So there you go on that one. So I do want to get to some of the big story is the mentorship to Malik Willis. Tannehill saying it's not my job. And again, I don't have a problem with that. But there are other things that Tannehill talked about that I do want to get to today. So Tannehill was asked, the first question was asked, why did you not show up for the start of voluntary workouts? Ryan, why did you miss the beginning of voluntary workouts?
It was just the best thing for me and my family to take in a couple extra weeks, finishing up a renovation in Florida, and it felt like the best thing for me to mentally and physically prepare was spend a couple extra weeks with my family, and then started phase 2 here to work with the guys on the field.
Okay. So I'm not sure I love that answer. We were told that no quarterbacks miss the start of the voluntary program unless there's serious beef, and then, what is it? Well, my family and I decided that we'd spend some time on the home, and that's bad.
That is not good.
That's bad.
That's basically saying my new bathroom or my
tiles.
My tiles on the floor, my new porch is more important than the football team. That is such a bad look. And we said whenever he wasn't there, we said, we're not ruling out the possibility that there could be some sort of, serious situation, maybe something with his family.
But we were not assuming it.
But we weren't assuming it, but we said we're not going to rule that out. But this, renovations on your house? Seriously?
So
I was willing to give you the BOD?
So I asked, is that a bad look for a leader? Do you think there's a leadership element to the starting quarterback being here, or do you think it doesn't matter?
I think that it's important to get on the same page with the guys, and that's what the spring is for, to reinforce the details and the fundamentals that this organization is built on. And we got plenty of time, a lot of time to be able to do that. We're able to kind of slow things down at this time of the year and focus on the details. We're doing that right now in the meeting room, on the field, translating it from the meeting room to the field, able to talk through the details on all the reps with the receivers. So we're getting some really good work in right now, and thankful to be here and have the time to do it.
Okay, so could you not have done that 2 weeks ago? So I understand, hey, the biggest thing about this is getting on the same page with the guys. Could you not have been getting on the same page with the guys 2 weeks ago? Matt Ryan was getting on the same page with the guys 2 weeks ago. So it doesn't really add up, right? It's like, why weren't you here? Well, I had some renovations, and I had to do what was best for me and my family. Okay, but isn't that a bad look for a leader? Well, the key to this is to be getting on the same page with everybody, and we are going through the meeting rooms, and we are getting on the same page with everybody right now, and we feel good about it, and we're doing it. Right, but then why did you miss the last one? If
the most important thing is getting on the same page, then shouldn't you be able to do that at the first opportunity?
Then, when Matt Ryan was getting on the same page.
And talking about how beat up he was in the offseason about the Bengals game, and I don't doubt that at all. But if you are so frustrated at yourself about a mistake that you made,
get your ass back to work.
Wouldn't you want to get back at your first opportunity?
So then he was asked about the infamous picture on the boat, the social media ad fishing on the Friday when everybody else was at work. Here's what Tannehill said about that.
Yeah, I'm working. Just because I was at home doesn't mean I was relaxing. I'm working. I'm throwing. I'm running. I'm getting myself mentally and physically ready to go. I'm having conversations with Todd, making sure I'm on top of all the information that the guys are getting. We've been through it the past couple of years of no off season, of kind of a shorter off season last year where I was just here for OTAs, and I've kind of figured out that one size doesn't fit all for the off-season program, and I kind of know what I need to do mentally and physically to get myself in the best position to go in with a full head of steam into August and training camp and into the season, and that's what I do.
So hey, guy, I'm working. Don't worry about me. I'm working. But again, quarterback's the one position where what everybody else has to do matters to you. You have to know what every single player, you have to know what 21 other people are doing on every snap. That's the job of the quarterback. Now, you can't work with the other 11 that you have to play, but you can work with your 10. And that's why quarterbacks go to these things. This goes back again to my theory on Tannehill and leadership, which is that Tannehill is not a good leader, not by choice, not out of spite or maliciousness or treachery or whatever. He's a bad leader because he's a bad leader. He's a bad leader because he is ignorant to the optics of leadership, to understanding what it all means. But all this talk about Ryan Tannehill being a good leader, I mean, I just don't buy it anymore. He's just not a good leader. And I think we have to face facts here. And when you say things like, well, the reason why I missed the optional work was because we had renovations going on and I had to do what was best for my family, again, that doesn't really compute. Or, well, just because I wasn't here doesn't mean that I'm not working. It doesn't compute. It just doesn't add up. And that's just how.
It just kind of feels like excuses.
Well, but again, I'm telling you, I think he believes those things.
Well, yeah, because he probably looks at it and says, well, yeah, I was doing renovations. I need to be here.
Last year, we didn't have this program, so I didn't do it last year, so I know what I need to do. And that's the problem. Tannehill was asked, and this was a biggie, and I got to give Ben Arthur credit from the Tennessean because he's the one who asked it, because I was getting ready to ask it, which is all the people around the country do not think the Tennessee Titans can win the Super Bowl. And it's not because they traded A.J. Brown, and it's not because Derrick Henry got hurt last year, and it's not because they don't have a right tackle, but it's because who they have at quarterback. Here's what Tannehill said when asked about all the people that don't think that Tannehill can win them a Super Bowl.
I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I have the utmost confidence in myself and know I have everything it takes. So I know I'm going to come this year with a fire and a passion, like I've talked about, and attack this season and know that I have to go play my best football in January. So like I said, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I have the utmost confidence in myself. I think my teammates have confidence in me, and so at the end of the day, that's all that matters to me.
Do you have any problem with what Ryan Tannehill said? And I don't mean any problem with the idea of you
do I disagree?
Right, but more so do you think he's lying? Do you think he's hiding something? Do you think he's not being truthful?
No, I think that's really exactly how he feels. That's the way he feels. He has the utmost confidence in himself, and he thinks that he can win a Super Bowl, which honestly, he should think that. You shouldn't be the starting quarterback of a professional football team if you don't think that you can win a Super Bowl. Even though I disagree, I think he really thinks that.
Here's what I think about Tannehill, and this doesn't make it harder to criticize Tannehill, but it certainly doesn't make it any easier. I think Ryan Tannehill's probably a really good dude. And I know enough people that know him to tell you that I do think he's a good guy. And I've never said he's not a good guy. For all the criticisms that I've had of him, it's been all about football. I do think that Ryan Tannehill does not handle adversity very well. And I don't think that Ryan Tannehill's a very good leader. I don't think he understands the optics of what he does. I think Mike Vrabel, great leader. I think Mike Vrabel is a great leader. I think he knows what you have to do in order to put the team first. There's a story that Matt Castle tells, and it's about Brady. And it is one time in practice, the Patriots were running a play, and Castle was supposed to motion a receiver, and he didn't, but the receiver had nothing to do with the play, and Castle completed the pass, and everybody was celebrating, and Brady reamed out Matt Castle. And Matt Castle's like, Tom, we completed the pass. It was fine. What are you talking about? And Brady said, you can't hold everybody else accountable if you don't hold yourself accountable for making that mistake. It may not have mattered there, but it matters because you got to hold yourself accountable. I don't think Tannehill understands that. I got to be honest with you. I think a big disservice that happened to Tannehill was starting right away for the Dolphins that had a rookie coach in Joe Philbin. I think that what hurt Tannehill was being coached by I don't want to call him a moron, but Adam Gase, a guy who had no idea what was going on. And I just don't think that he's got it. I just don't think that he's got the leadership in him. That's my biggest takeaway, is I think Tannehill's a good guy. I think Tannehill's a good teammate. I think Tannehill has enough talent. I think Tannehill, I just don't think he gets it. And that is a part of the equation. That is, as Bill Polian would say, 70% of it. I think Tannehill has a lot of the 70%. But I just don't think he's got. I don't think he understands. And I don't think at this point, old dog, new tricks, he's ever going to understand. And so that's, will Malik learn those things? I don't know. But again, I think that Tannehill really struggles in the leading other people department, which is hard for me to swallow because I thought he did such a good job of it when he took over in 2019. Let's get to the phones on this next. We're right to your phone. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. Let me tell you about FanDuel Sportsbook. That's right. FanDuel Sportsbook is my official sportsbook app. I absolutely love it. And we've got Dinger Tuesdays. That's right. Major League Baseball Dinger Tuesdays. You have got to get in on the home run hitters. That's right. Dinger Tuesdays is great because what happens is all customers will get $5 for every home run hit by both teams when you place a $25 to hit a home run wager on a Tuesday MLB game. And the best part about Dinger Tuesdays is even if your bet loses, FanDuel will pay you $5 for every home run hit. I think that there's a lot of great players to pick from. The ball is not flying as it has been before. We'll see, who some of these guys that are going to be hitting the ball out of the park. Just go watch Toronto because they got the hitters. So what are you waiting for? Pick your home run hitter and turn big swings into big wins. There's no better place to bet than on America's #1 sportsbook and my official sportsbook app. Head over to your FanDuel account or download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code JGM. That's promo code JGM. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max bonus $25 and restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
If you're on the road between downtown Nashville,
they're still in good shape to make the playoffs,
and I-840.
Players make it clear they don't want to be somewhere anymore.
There's a new way to hear all your favorite shows and sports programming on 102.5 The Game.
I go back to that play and I shake my head. What I was worried about is that they were still just going to keep the goal.
It's 106.3 FM.
Think about all the good Titans teams.
This is very much so a run-first offense.
Now you have two choices to hear Nashville's best sports talk. Check out 106.3 now and add it as a favorite.
Leaving a child in a hot vehicle can lead to their death very quickly. Set cell phone reminders or place something you'll need in the back seat so you don't forget your child is in the car. Look for your baby before you lock. Brought to you by NHTSA.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red Weather Alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Scattered showers and thunderstorms moving through the mid-state this afternoon and evening, a few of which could be on the strong side. Main threat, gusty winds and hail.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Realizing Geico is your one-stop shop for all your insurance needs is like realizing you can just toss the whole measuring cup into the washer, so it won't get gunked up with laundry detergent.
I guess it doesn't work for coffee mugs, huh?
It's something that's been right in front of you this whole time, like how Geico offers 24/7 emergency roadside service to help you when you need it most. Or how athletic wristbands aren't for your wrists, they're for wiping sweat off your forehead.
Great. So, what are headbands for?
80s night at the dance club, woo!
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance, with even more ways to save when you add boat, motorcycle, and RV insurance. Or how a pony is its own animal and not just a baby horse.
So, what's a baby pony called?
Getting more ways to save. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as your Nashville Predators take on Colorado for Game 2 this Thursday night. The puck drops at 8:30, but the party starts at 8 with all kinds of specials, like $6 on select cans or their delicious new Smashville cocktail for $10. Watch the game on the biggest screen downtown, and don't forget they have dozens of unlimited free vintage arcade games. We'll see you at Headquarters Beercade this Thursday night, downtown Nashville, 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
Darren McFarland.
He's cool. He's got a personality, and they make fun of him.
Willie Donick.
Would this be a fun guy to come to work and hang around with all day?
Chase McCabe.
They're just like, hey, we need you to play yourself.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
You're listening to Stillman and Company, delivered by TriStar Moving.
Be a part to off-putting the fans who last time they saw you was the Cincinnati game?
I mean, that's them. Let them be the judge. You know, I don't post a whole lot on social media. You know, some of the stuff that I did post was taken in March and April, and just put it up in that time. So wasn't. I think you may be referring to a Celsius post that I was on the boat. You know, that was taken in March. You know, I wasn't even on the boat last week. So, you know, I think you read too much into that, and you can read it how you want. But at the end of the day, I know I'm doing whatever I need to do to get myself, you know, ready to go and communicating, get on the same page with my teammates, and get us all ready to go and win games in the fall.
Ryan Tannehill on his Instagram post picture heard around the city say, look, I mean, it was just, you know, I mean, that was taken in March. I wasn't even on the boat. I mean, you know, come on now. What did I tell you? I said that was going to be the excuse. And you know what's crazy? I think he's telling the truth.
I mean, whether it's the truth or not, I don't really care.
I know. It's it's the ignorance of his ability to lead.
It's the timing. It's the not understanding how your actions impact the team, impact the fan base.
He doesn't know better. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, so if you had a child, and your child, let's say you have a really, really smart child.
Okay.
And the child just doesn't study, doesn't do their homework, gets a C-. How mad are you going to be?
Mad.
Okay. Your child is just not smart enough. Like, they try. They do their homework. They talk to the teacher extra. They just aren't good at that subject. C-. How do you feel?
You did all you could do.
There you go. Tannehill just doesn't get it. Like that, again, when you say you're a bad leader, that feels like a personal attack, right? Like, it feels like you're selfish. You don't care about the team. You don't do this. You don't do that. But the reality is, he just doesn't know. He just doesn't get it. That's my theory. And I'm sticking to it.
Well, and
it doesn't make things better, by the way. I mean, again,
no,
he's
it
your
doesn't
quarterback
make things
who's trying to win the Super Bowl.
better. But the renovations thing really got to me because I think when you're a leader, whether you ask for that position or not, whether you want to be a leader or not, when you're the quarterback, you are.
And it comes with the territory and the salary.
It comes with the territory. You get paid a very hefty salary to do so. You will be under a microscope more than any other player because you are the quarterback.
And he
whether
knows
you
that.
Like it or not.
He knows that, but he doesn't understand it.
And I think that the renovations thing, that is such a minuscule thing that he felt like justified his actions.
But he doesn't know that it doesn't.
And I know.
That's my point.
I know. He thought it justified his actions.
You're not going to change.
And it didn't. Obviously, it did not.
He's not going to change. He just doesn't understand, and he's not going to understand. And so the Titans have to, they have to manage that properly.
And which is fine, but then don't give me the whole Ryan Tannehill's a great leader shtick whenever he throws 3 interceptions in a game.
That, I think, is a bigger question, but that's for other people. That is not for him. But that is for Vrabel to sit there and say, like, his leadership's great. Not so sure about it. Let's get to your phones as promised. Phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We're live at Huckleberry Brewery, brand new, just open. It is freaking awesome out here again in Cool Springs on Fraser Boulevard. Come on out for the watch party tonight at 8:30 next to Sperry's in Cool Springs. And we're giving away a pair of Game 3 tickets tonight. What do we have in our phone lines?
Mark from Paris texts in and says, you missed the point, Jared. D-Mace is right. He makes $38 million more than anyone on the team.
No, he makes 30.
He makes $38 million. He should do the right thing, mentor the rookie. Derrick Henry would do so, so Tannehill should as well.
I mean, wait, what, did Derrick Henry mentor Darrington Evans?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But that's the thing is when Tannehill says it, now it becomes in the news cycle. If he didn't say the M word, that mentor word at all today, we would never even question how much he's guiding Malik Willis.
It is probably. Tannehill really did. I mean,
he made himself the story.
I didn't ask if he felt like he had to be a mentor to Malik. That's not what I asked. But to sit there and say that Derrick Henry would do that, I don't know if Derrick Henry would do that.
Because he's never said it.
But I don't know if he would. The bigger thing that it's going to eat my rear end. He makes $30 million this year. His cap number is 38, but he makes 30. So we can't sit there and talk about how he makes $30 million all last year and then get on him this year for making 38 when he technically against the cap made 11 last year. So I'm just saying that right now. He makes $29.5 million, not 38, even though that is his cap number. And that's just me, and that's just, a sticking point for me. But we can't rip him for making 30 last year and then hold him to a different standard this year. What do we have there?
Maverick texts in and says, fine, Ryan won't mentor Malik. Why did he have to say it publicly?
I mean, again, all I asked was the dynamic about working with somebody who's trying to take your job. And he was the one who said, it's not my job to mentor him, but again, this goes back this goes back to how I started the segment. He doesn't know. It's not his fault that he doesn't know. That is, and what's going to happen now is he's never going to say anything again. He's going to turn to Belichick. He's going to, every press conference now, if I was him, that's what I'd do. I mean, if I was him, I'd be like, I thought I was being honest, and they are just railing on me. Now, he doesn't listen, and I was told today that he hasn't heard a lot of the noise, and it didn't seem to me like he'd heard a lot of the noise. Guys kind of make it pretty obvious to you when they hear what you're saying. I didn't feel that way today, but, he's getting railed. And so what's going to happen is he's just going to say things like, yeah, I thought that we're really just working hard to get better every day. He could Marshawn Lynch it from here. I don't know. But he didn't.
But if that's what he wants to do, that's fine.
Again, that's like
however you want to answer a question is your prerogative.
That's what I always say to people when they ask me, why would you ask that question? The reason that I ask the question is because he can respond however and not just Tannehill, but coaches and everything else, you can respond however you want to respond. Connie is up next here on the program. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, Connie.
Yes, I wanted to weigh in on Tannehill. I know he hasn't been there for the volunteer practice and that sort of thing, and I can understand the family thing, but when they interviewed him, and instead of including the season from the beginning, he says, well, in January. So what does that mean for the rest of the season before January?
So your beef is with how he played all of last year.
Well, no, my biggest beef is like when they had the interview with him. When the interview that they just got where he was talking about his family, that's why he hadn't showed up at volunteer practice.
Sure.
And that type of thing. Okay, he didn't show up. But then when they did the interview with him, he was like, he just said January. He didn't talk about anything before, like until leading up to January, to the playoffs he just said, I'm going to be good in January. Why not before?
Well, I mean, I think that's implied. Thank you for your call, Connie. I think that's implied. I mean, I don't know. I was there. I asked the questions. Personally, I didn't think I don't think Tannehill ducked anything today. That's the one thing I will give him a lot of credit for is
he was very open
he
today.
May have been
he was
honest
vulnerable
to a fault.
today.
And now he's going to, like Keyshawn Johnson's on TV right now, probably ripping Ryan Tannehill on it. I have no idea. Well, we know how
The
Keyshawn.
headline says Ryan Tannehill, quote, I don't think it's my job to mentor him.
I gotta
Lower
tell you,
third says that.
When I asked that question, I did not think that this was going to be what happened.
Well, he can answer the question however he wants.
I know that's the rule.
He did that to himself.
I just did not foresee this happening. And usually I foresee, like I know that when I ask something that's kind of controversial, and I didn't even think that I just think I'm asking questions. And I'm not sure it's controversial, but man, I am stunned. This thing has blown. They have a 5-person panel on television talking about what Ryan Tannehill said. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. So here's the question. I'm going to ask you all the most important question to the fans. Because I asked the hard questions to Tannehill today, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to ask the question to the fans now on the other side of this about Tannehill and Malik. We'll get to that coming up next right here, Stillman & Company, live from Huckleberry Brewery. Again, brand spanking new out here next to Sperry's in Cool Springs on Fraser Boulevard. Come on out for the watch party tonight. Puck drop is at 8:30. Stillman & Company, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Heads up. 106.3 FM is a new way to hear 102.5 The Game from downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and on I-24 to Murfreesboro.
Make sure you have that preset on your radio dial.
We're making it even easier to listen to Nashville's best sports talk.
This is going to be awesome. It's like, yes.
Tune in to 106.3.
That's what makes this team better.
And hear the difference.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
You don't have just an ordinary mom in your life. She's the best. Her work never stops. Her sacrifices are many. Her love is unfailing. This Mother's Day, Genesis Diamonds invites you to join us in celebrating and appreciating the mothers in our lives. Stop in and let one of our trusted advisors help you find a special, meaningful gift. Layering necklaces, stackable rings, eternity bands, pearls, elegant diamond pendants, and of course, stunning diamond earrings. Great Mother's Day ideas for any budget. There's no doubt we love Mom, but sometimes a little extra appreciation goes a long way as a thank you for helping us through challenges, making sacrifices, and always putting the family first. So whether it's her first Mother's Day or her 60th, Mom deserves a gift that's anything but ordinary. And at Genesis, that's our specialty. Exquisite rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, heirloom pieces. Timeless gifts of jewelry that she can enjoy and cherish for decades to come, and always be reminded of how special she is to the family. Genesis Diamonds, online at genesisdiamonds.net.
What if you could be debt-free in 3 weeks? Hey, Willie Donick here. My friends at Loan Pronto are helping people do it every day. It's Loan Pronto's Debt Consolidation Home Refi, wiping out tens of thousands in credit card debt. Listen, your home's value is way up. You can refinance now, take money out to pay off all your credit cards, eliminate PMI charges, pay off personal loans, or other high-interest debt. One local couple had over $50,000 in credit card debt. Loan Pronto did a debt consolidation refi. And even though their mortgage rate went up a tad, they cut their monthly payments by $900. Why pay 20% interest when you can consolidate it to one low payment with a mortgage APR in the threes? Homeowners who do it save an average of $800 a month. Do it now and even skip your next house payment altogether. That's what I call financial freedom. Call Loan Pronto now. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval.
Signs First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
Hi, my name's Kevin. I'm active duty, so I'm figuring out my options while I'm stationed here.
Hey, Kevin. Navy Federal Credit Union is celebrating Military Appreciation Month, so you called the right place.
Guess you could say it's like a match made for Kevin. Get it?
Very good.
At Navy Federal, our mission has been to help the military community for over 85 years. During Military Appreciation Month, we're celebrating the commitment that connects us. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers.
ESPN.
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving. ESPN 1025 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Live from the Hillside Medical Game Studios tonight. It is Huckleberry Brewery where we are hanging out here. They've got brand new ownership, brand new management. This place is brand spanking new. We got the French fries in front of us. We got the chicken tenders in front of us. Mike in Philly is up in here right now. But again, 8:30 tonight. 8:30 tonight, Preds Avalanche puck drop. Right here's the watch party. Huckleberry Brewery on Fraser Boulevard in Cool Springs next to Sperry's. Come on out and register to win Game 3 Preds Avs tickets. Now, what's crazy about this place is we got TVs everywhere, and they've got, that 4-in-a-row TVs where they'll have the Preds on TV, they'll have the Grizz on TV. But at one point in 5 minutes ago, they had one TV on NHL Network, and so I got Chris Mason's beautiful beard. And on the next one, I got the Tannehill press conference today of Tannehill talking to me about the biggest statement of the day, which is going to be all over ESPN tomorrow. When I sat down, I said, this is going to be the story tomorrow. I was wrong. It's the story today. And it is what Tannehill said when I asked him about the dynamic of working with Malik Willis, knowing that ultimately Malik Willis is trying to take his job.
Action is obvious.
Ultimately, probably his goal is to take your job.
I mean, that's part of being in a quarterback room in the same room. We're competing against each other. We're watching the same tape. We're doing the same drills. I don't think it's my job to mentor him, but if he learns from me along the way, then that's a great thing.
So I'm going to ask this question because everyone's blown up from that one line where he said it's not my job to mentor Malik. What is he supposed to do? I'm not asking you what he's supposed to say, because I would agree with you that if he just didn't say that, nobody would be talking about this. We'd be talking about this whole renovation thing and how he felt about the Bengals game, and instead ESPN is talking about Tannehill saying it's not his job. Kurt Warner is firing off rockets on Twitter. Ryan Clark is firing rockets. Kevin Carter just liked a tweet that I sent out about it. I mean, this is, Derek Mason is firing in text messages to me about this. There are a lot of people. Trevor Maddich, who's going to join us in 30 minutes, Trevor texts me, goes, I want to talk about this. So this is the big story. But here's the question that I want to know. Not what he was supposed to say. What is he supposed to do? What are your expectations for how Ryan Tannehill is supposed to handle this dynamic of a quarterback room of him, Malik Willis, and Logan Woodside? That's my question for you, the fan, 615-737-1025. I'll ask it first to you, Caroline.
I mean, I don't think that my perception of what Ryan Tannehill should do has changed based off of his answer today. I don't think my perception of what Ryan Tannehill should do has changed based off of them drafting Malik Willis on Friday. It's the exact same thing that I think I've been asking him to do, you've been asking him to do, and most Titans fans have been asking him to do. Just go in there and do your job. Go in there and do what you need to do to make yourself better, be a leader for this team, be a role model for this team, set the example for this team. Just go in there and do your job. And whatever that entails, I mean, he can interpret that. He's the quarterback. He's the leader of that team. That's his job to interpret what he should do as the leader of this team, whatever he needs to do to make himself better, whatever he needs to do so he doesn't throw 3 interceptions in a playoff game.
See, I don't agree with that.
do what he needs to do to not throw interceptions?
The idea of he knows what he needs to do because he already said that earlier today.
He should know what he needs to do.
He already said earlier today.
It's not my job to tell him what to do. It's his job to know what he needs to do. Does he? Now, that's a different question.
I do think it is your job to tell him what to do.
It's my job to tell Ryan Tannehill what to do. A grown man who makes $30 million a year, it's my job to tell him what to do.
The backbone of sports talk radio is first and second guessing. Like, that is what sports talk radio is. But I go back to what, I don't think Tannehill knows, again, the optics of leadership, and I don't think he knows. I think he is ignorant to how to be a good leader. And I don't mean that in a mean way, a mean-spirited way. I mean that in that's just the vibe I get. That's the reality check that I have with Tannehill. I guess the bigger thing is my expectations for Tannehill and how he is supposed to comport himself is I believe that Ryan Tannehill is supposed to show up every day and probably be the first one in the building, or if not the first one, be pretty darn close to it. He's supposed to work hard every day. He's supposed to go through the process that he has for himself, that the coaches have for him. He's supposed to watch film, be in the meetings, get the receivers on the right page, get the offense in gear, make sure people aren't upset. That's his job. I would like him to be open with Malik, to sit there, and if Malik says, hey, why do you do that? Why do you check off a 29 Z-gap strong against that front? I'd like him to be like, the reason that we do that is because they're going to drag this safety around, and so what we've got to do is send the backer through the other side, and then that way you're going to have the slant's going to be open to the wide receiver. Like, that's what I want him to do. But this idea that Ryan Tannehill, and I think this is what Ryan was getting at, that Ryan has to spend time thinking about the progress of Malik Willis, I do not think is fair to Ryan Tannehill. I don't think that's his job. His job is to go beat the Buffalo Bills, beat the Kansas City Chiefs, beat the Indianapolis Colts, beat the Green Bay Packers, beat the Cincinnati Bengals. That's his job. And if he doesn't do those things this year, then he will lose that job, and we will be screaming. But it's not his job to sit there and worry about what's going on with Malik every 5 minutes. They have coaches for that. We don't ask Derrick Henry, right, to be a great mentor and take Hassan Haskins under your wing and go to lunch with Hassan Haskins every single day. We don't ask him to do that. And so that's where I get at with this is, it's good. Like, I want Kevin Byard to include Theo Jackson and feel like Theo Jackson can be comfortable with him. But I don't think it's Kevin Byard's job to make sure that Theo Jackson develops into a good safety. And I feel the same way about Tannehill here. And so when I ask you what is he supposed to do, I think what he's supposed to do is what he said he
do your job,
do.
Whatever you need to do to win games. Win games.
I mean, so he's catching all kinds of hell. But I don't think it's warranted. I really don't. Let's go back to your phones. As promised, 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Vince in Waverly is up next. Our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. What's up, Vince?
Hey, guys. Just want to weigh in on that Tannehill stuff. You remember now, Rodgers hit the same thing, and so did Big Ben. They don't think they're a mentor. But a good leader, that does encompass being a mentor. I'm not saying take him to lunch. You guys are right. Don't take him to lunch every day, but, help him. Help him progress along. You look in the NFL. It's NFL not for long, right? Because they're going to take your job sooner or later. So why not help them make your team better by helping a man?
So I have two thoughts to that. Good call, Vince. I have two thoughts to that. One, Tannehill's not a good leader. I think we all have to be okay with that. We all have to understand.
Well, we don't have to be okay with it, but we can understand
Well, it's not going to change. You know what I mean?
But that doesn't mean I have to be okay with it.
It's like, look, Jared Stillman is loud. It's not going to change.
Doesn't mean I have to be okay with it.
But
you have to accept it and move on.
This probably isn't the right show to be on, though, if you can't handle the fact that I am a little loud sometimes.
I'm saying with Ryan Tannehill, we don't have to be okay with the fact that he's not a good leader. I think that we're not okay with a lot of the things that Ryan Tannehill does, and we're calling for changes. We don't have to be okay with it, but you can accept it for what it is.
But, right, like it's not going to change between now and kickoff.
Yes.
Like he is what he is. So don't worry about that part. The second part of what he said about, being a mentor and being a good leader and being I mean, I don't think Tannehill is doing anything that he didn't see when he was in the league. And I'll use David Garrard as the example. Do you know who David Garrard is?
I don't.
So David Garrard used to be the starting quarterback of the Jags. He beat out Byron Leftwich for the job, and he was the starting quarterback for the Jags for 3 or 4 years, and then he suffered an injury. And in 2012, he signed with the Miami Dolphins. And the Miami Dolphins had 3 quarterbacks. They had David Garrard, they had Matt Moore, who was like a career backup but had started some games, and they had Tannehill. And when they got to training camp, Tannehill was a holdout because he didn't get his deal done in time. So he came in a couple days late. And a lot of people assumed that the starting quarterback battle was going to be between Tannehill, Garrard, and Matt Moore. And then I think Matt Moore got hurt. And David Garrard got hurt, but David Garrard had been dealing with injuries or whatever. And if you watch Hard Knocks, because that year it was the Dolphins, Tannehill's rookie year, the first day of practice, Tannehill started running with the football, and he dove or something like that, and David Garrard took him on the sidelines after the play and said, I love your passion, I love your energy, but do not hurt yourself diving out here at practice. Or please learn how to slide. And that was kind of a big theme of like one of the first or second episodes of Hard Knocks was David Garrard telling Tannehill, dude, you got to slide. And now David Garrard got hurt and ended up, his career was over at that point after he got hurt. But David Garrard was not there to be Tannehill's mentor. Now, he took Tannehill to the side and said, please learn how to slide. And obviously David Garrard didn't do a great job of getting through to Tannehill because here we are a decade later and Tannehill still won't slide. But that wasn't David Garrard's job. David Garrard's job was to try to go win the starting quarterback battle. And that's Tannehill's job, is to go beat the Steelers and beat the Colts and beat the Raiders and beat the Bengals and beat the Bills and beat the Patriots and beat the Chiefs and beat the Broncos. That's his job. And I think it's unfair because people are looking at Tannehill as if he's selfish for what he said, when in reality he was keeping it real. I mean, selfish to me is I'd rather spend time at home with my family working on the renovations of my house. Nobody wants to hear when you make $30 million. Nobody wants to hear about your house because nobody cares. Because we know, like, for instance, childcare is an issue, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's very expensive.
Very expensive.
If Ryan Tannehill was like, yeah, I can't make it to practice because somebody's got to watch my kid. No, you make $30 million. You can afford it. You'll be fine. That is the thing that drives me crazy. Hey, it's not my job to mentor Malik, but I want Malik, to learn some things, and I want, we compete and we watch the same tape and we go over. I'm totally on board with Tannehill. And I keep asking you all, what do you expect Tannehill to do? 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. We will get your thoughts. And I want you to think about that question. What is Tannehill supposed to do? And I do have an example of something that I think Tannehill is not supposed to do. And I'll explain what that is and how it's even hard for me to say. We'll get to that coming up next. Hey, watch tonight's playoff action right here in Cool Springs at Huckleberry Brewery on Fraser Drive next to Sperry's. It's the 102.5 The Game Watch Party, and you can register to win Game 3 tickets to Bridgestone Arena on Saturday. That's where we are right now. We are so happy to be here, by the way. It's Huckleberry Brewery. Again, it used to be Cool Springs Brewery, but Huckleberry Brewery out here in Cool Springs. Come on out and see us. It's Stillman and Company on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Every Wednesday at 5, join us for Jared versus Joe as they debate all of the big topics in sports, presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment and Mayweather Boxing and Fitness on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Getting enough sides so you don't have to share? That's finger licking good. Order the KFC Side Lovers Meal today and get 3 large KFC sides served with 8 pieces of tenders or fried chicken. Prices of participation may vary.
Nothing makes one feel better than the ability to give to someone in need. You have the power to give the most important gift of all, the gift of life, with a donation of your blood. Supplies are desperately low in our area, and your help is needed. Blood Assurance is a nonprofit community blood center that supplies our Middle Tennessee area hospitals. Please find it in your heart to donate. Be someone's hero today. Go to bloodassurance.org to find a location or blood drive near you. That's bloodassurance.org. Give blood, give local, save lives with Blood Assurance.
It's not too late. Make this the best Mother's Day yet with the perfect gift from Electronic Express. Great deals on top brands like Samsung, LG, Whirlpool, Sony, Cuisinart, Dyson, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department. Computers, 4K TVs, appliances, housewares, furniture, and more. Save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online with free express delivery on most items. Shop spring savings at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
The Ainsworth Nashville has been bringing a sophisticated twist to the classic All-American Sports Bar, restaurant, and private event experience in Midtown since 2018. Our multi-purpose venue consists of a full-scale restaurant, bar and lounge, and event space. Come for the wings, stay for our happy hour, and visit us for brunch on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We've got the good times to keep you singing all night long. The Ainsworth Nashville. Burgers, cocktails, sports.
Visit the Ainsworth at 206 21st Avenue South in Nashville or online at theainsworth.com.
People of Tennessee, Caesars Sportsbook is giving out first bet insurance for all new users, up to $1,100. Download the app and use promo code RADIOCZR and then place your first bet. If you win, congrats. But if not, you'll get your wager back as a free bet. Must be 21 and physically present in Tennessee. New users only. Bet amount of qualifying wager returned only if wager is settled as a loss. Paid as a single bet credit. Must be used within 14 days. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Gambling problem? Call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Do you want to help the families of soldiers who gave the ultimate sacrifice? Then join ESPN 1025 The Game for the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament, benefiting Folds of Honor, May 16th at Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with athletes, musicians, and other local celebs to support a great cause and have loads of fun. Plus, you have the chance to win awesome prizes like a flyaway to Vegas or even a new car for a hole-in-one. Sign up to play, sponsor, or donate at thegamenashville.com/golf.
Of all the multitudinous manifestations that water can take, in oceans and ice cubes, in glaciers and streams, vapors and rain, double black diamonds, lap swims, and brains. Of all that water everywhere, only 0.5% is fresh water available for human use. That's why at Moen, we're innovating to save 1 trillion gallons of water by 2030. Discover Mission Moen at moen.com.
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works overtime with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget is available as a concentrate or extreme reach hose end. Purchase Wet and Forget in-store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Stillman and Company on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
And you know, did that come as a surprise to you? And you know, what have your conversations been like with John and Mike, and I guess even Malik since then?
Yeah, I texted Malik right after we drafted him as well. Yeah, I wasn't informed of that beforehand, but same thing with AJ, right? The team's going to do the best thing that they think is best interest of the team, and you know, I have no problems with Malik, and you know, we're looking to add talent and guys that can help us. So you know, we'll add them to the room and go from there.
See, I think that is a good answer, right? Like the idea of, you know, I have no problem with Malik. I'm excited. Like, you know, add guys to the room. Let's go. Let's knock it out. I think in spirit, Ryan Tannehill has the right. I think he has the right approach to this. But the print version of it's not my job to be his mentor comes off as, it's not my job. I don't care about the guy behind me. And I just don't think that's what Tannehill feels. And I know that the narrative around the country tonight and tomorrow is going to run with that. And I just don't think it's fair.
Well, and I think that a lot of people that may be against what he said or kind of talk down about Tannehill because of what he said, maybe just because they see the quote in print. And the quote in print feels a little harsh.
It also is easy for fake outrage people to get fake outraged about.
That's true.
Like Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark, who won't show up to do his job because he has different political views as a SportsCenter anchor.
You think that was fake outrage?
Ryan Clark?
Ryan Clark, yeah.
I think Ryan Clark is fake outrage. I think Ryan Clark is. I think Ryan Clark is not that talented of an analyst to be not doing his job. You know what I mean?
I don't think anyone is talented enough to not do their job.
I mean, some people can, like Michael Jordan can take 2 years off and come back and everything be the same for Michael Jordan. He's talented enough. But Brady is good enough to be able to not have to go to voluntary workouts. But to your point, like, Aaron, you're here to play quarterback. So we need you to play quarterback.
Yes.
We're not asking you to do much more. But there is something I do want to get to. So this is from a Seth Wickersham story in 2017, or maybe it was 2018. I can't remember what year. And it was talking about a scenario which is kind of similar. Young quarterback drafted, starting quarterback well in place. Clearly, there's a little bit of competitive tension. After Jimmy Garoppolo was knocked out of his second career start because of a shoulder injury, he set up a visit at TB12. As he later told Patriot staffers when he arrived, the door was locked. He knocked, nobody was there. He called TB12 trainers, but nobody answered. He couldn't believe it. Garoppolo told the staffers, and that night ended up visiting team trainers instead. Alex Guerrero, Tom Brady's business partner, body coach, etc., vehemently denies ever refusing to see any player, and Garoppolo was eventually treated at TB12. But it was 2 weeks after he showed up for his original appointment, and only after a high-ranking Patriot staffer called TB12 to inquire why Garoppolo hadn't been admitted. Now, again, who knows how true that story is, though it does feel very true to me. But the point here is that's Tom Brady. And we ask Tannehill, we want a guy to be like Brady, be like Rodgers. Brett Favre was not good to Aaron Rodgers when Aaron Rodgers showed up. I don't expect that from Tannehill. And from what I gathered from what Tannehill said today, Tannehill's not going to be that way. That is being a bad teammate. That is what everybody's going to be just outraged at Tannehill about. Tannehill's not doing that. But there is a part of me that wants Tannehill to want to keep his job. And I'm fine with that. I am so fine with that. At 33 years old, if Tannehill plays like 2020, he's got 5 more years left in him. If he plays like 2020 this season, he's the starter in 2023. I hope that's what happens. I don't expect it, but that's what I hope. But I don't think Tannehill is going to go out of his way to be a bad teammate. And that's really all that matters to me. Let's go back to your phone. 615-737-1025, and our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
One texter checks in and says, would this even be a conversation if Tannehill got us to the AFC Championship?
I mean, I don't know, like the hypotheticals, and I guess it's fun to play with them, but like if he had blown the AFC Championship game, would we have really changed our tunes? So I don't know about that.
I don't think the conversation about the mentoring Malik Willis has anything to do about the 3 interceptions against Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, I just think Malik Willis isn't here if Tannehill doesn't throw the 3 interceptions against the Bengals.
Maybe not. Maybe he is.
I don't think he is. Like, if the Titans go on and the Titans...
The only reason why I say maybe not is because they did take him in the 3rd round. It's not like he was their first-round pick. It's not like they're looking at him to be like, okay, Malik, you're up next.
If they had won more, they would have signed AJ. Now, I don't know. AJ didn't understand. And AJ's agent probably didn't do a good job. And I'm kind of over talking about AJ because he's gone. He's in Philly. But, I mean... I just, that hypothetical I can't answer because I don't know what the temperature would have been around in here. If they had gotten to the AFC Championship game and Tannehill had thrown 3 picks, people would still be mad. If he had thrown 3 touchdowns and they lost because they couldn't stop Mahomes in Kansas City, then I don't think people would be mad at Tannehill. I think it's pretty, it's very open as far as that. What's next?
Ben texts in and says, I think part of the problem with all of this is that we have different ideas of what being a mentor is. He doesn't have to go out of his way to spend time being his mentor. He can be his mentor along the way that he is going already. That's kind of what I thought Ryan Tannehill was thinking. I'm not going to go out of my way and do anything, but when we're watching film, when we're on the field, when we're throwing, you're going to learn something from me just naturally.
That is how most everything works.
Yes.
I hate to break it to you, but that's really how most of this stuff works. This is often, very rarely does the mentor decide who the mentor is. More often than not, it is the mentee is attracted to the mentor and then starts, showing the praise of the mentor. And then if the mentor is a good mentor, he takes the mentee under his wing. Mm-hmm. That's usually how it works. By the way, I was at Buccaneers practice last year when they scrimmaged against the Titans. I didn't see Brady with Kyle Trask at all. I saw Brady with Blaine Gabbert a lot, and Blaine Gabbert is like Brady's caddy, right? Like, hey, you think I should hit a 3-iron here? Here you go. All right. But I didn't see him with Kyle Trask at all. You think Brady cares about Kyle Trask? That's like when the Buccaneers started on the clock on Friday night for round 2, and people were like, could they go quarterback? I'm like, no, they're not going quarterback because Tom is not interested in what you're doing next year, and Tom runs that franchise as an equal partner with the team. He got the coach fired. No, you're not going quarterback there. So, I mean, we won't hold Tom Brady to that standard, but we'll hold Ryan Tannehill to it?
Well, it's because Ryan Tannehill said it.
I mean, Brady did it. I mean, I think there's a bigger issue there. Like, I think you will see Malik Willis treated the same way that Tannehill treats Logan Woodside, and that's fine. What's next?
One texter says, Tannehill just pulled a classic not my job in the workplace. Nothing wrong with it, but shows that you're selfish and not part of a team and not being a good leader.
I think that is such bull crap, okay? Like, when you're hired for a job, you're hired for a job. Every place would love to sit there and say, you know, we're a team together, and so nobody should say that's not my job. When I got hired here, the general manager here, Jana Hampton, said to me that we have a rule that is nobody says that's not my job. So if you need to take out the trash, you got to take out the trash. And I said to Jana, I go, I hear that, and this is a teamwork environment. But you don't want me doing the commercial logs because I don't know how to do it, and I'm going to screw it up, and we're going to lose a lot of money. And I don't know if you want the people that do the commercial logs to be spending 4 hours talking about Ryan Tannehill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I need Ryan to do his job.
You need the people that know how to do their jobs to do their jobs.
In fact, like, the Patriot Way motto is what?
I don't know.
The Patriot Way motto. What's the documentary called? Oh,
Man in the Arena?
No, Elijah, what is the Patriot Way motto?
Do your job.
Do your job. And the big key with that is to not do somebody else's job. It's like if your job is to set the edge, don't sit there and try to go sack the quarterback. Go set the edge. If your job is to kick field goals, don't worry about punting. Go kick the ball through the uprights. If your job is the long snap, get that ball to the holder. Do your job. Tannehill's job is to win games as the quarterback of this team. I don't need him worrying about some other job. So Trevor Maddich texted me, and he says he wants to weigh in on this. He's got to weigh in. He's a former player. He's already been slamming Tannehill earlier this year, which you know me, I kind of think is funny. And so we'll get Trevor's thoughts in on that, and we will do that coming up next. 615-737-1025. Tune in for Sounds Baseball tonight on ESPN 94.9 as the Sounds open up a 6-game homestand. That's right, the games are at home, so enjoy them. First, Horizon Park against the Norfolk Tides, the AAA affiliate of the Baltimore Orioles. Pre-game with Jeff Him is at 6:20. The first pitch is at 6:35, and great tickets are available for the Sounds tonight. Sounds Baseball on ESPN 94.9, presented by 312 Pizza, Farm Bureau Health Plans, and Spirited Hive.
Every Wednesday at 6, we go behind the glass with current and former Predators players, along with coaches and broadcasters for Smashville Live.
Yo's, Hal and I were just talking about last night's game. It was a big game for us.
Presented by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and Red Spirits and Wine on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's me, Chase McCabe, and listen, you know that I love BetMGM. I use it all the time, and I talk about it all the time. They are the king of sportsbooks, and they unleash the spirit of Las Vegas with BetMGM rewards. Every time you make a wager at BetMGM, you can earn BetMGM rewards points that you can redeem for online bonus credits like free bets and risk-free tokens. If you're planning a trip to Vegas, like I am, you can also convert your BetMGM points into MGM rewards points that you can use towards dining, shows, and hotel rooms at over 20 MGM Resorts properties located on the Las Vegas Strip and nationwide. BetMGM Rewards is sports betting's premier loyalty program featuring exclusive offers, incredible experiences, and valuable perks when you wager on the BetMGM app. Sign up with BetMGM or log on today and get an even bigger piece of the action with BetMGM Rewards. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Tennessee only. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a lounge singer to be their office receptionist.
Hello, this is Mickey Marquis, and you've reached the office of Doug & Associates. Thank you very much. Catch me Tuesday nights at the Hotel Johnson. Hello?
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Doug and Associates, this is Mickey Market. Hello?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
And now it's Geico's Motorcycle Rules of the Road. Avoid biking in the rain and never touch another person's bike.
Hey guys, look at these bikes. So shiny. Whoops. I'm gonna leave a note. Oh gosh, there's more.
And the rule to saving on motorcycle insurance is, in 15 minutes, Geico could save you 15% or more.
You don't have just an ordinary mom in your life. She's the best. Her work never stops. Her sacrifices are many. Her love is unfailing. This Mother's Day, Genesis Diamonds invites you to join us in celebrating and appreciating the mothers in our lives. Stop in and let one of our trusted advisors help you find a special, meaningful gift. Layering necklaces, stackable rings, eternity bands, pearls, elegant diamond pendants, and of course, stunning diamond earrings. Great Mother's Day ideas for any budget. There's no doubt we love Mom, but sometimes a little extra appreciation goes a long way as a thank you for helping us through challenges, making sacrifices, and always putting the family first. So whether it's her first Mother's Day or her 60th, Mom deserves a gift that's anything but ordinary. And at Genesis, that's our specialty. Exquisite rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, heirloom pieces. Timeless gifts of jewelry that she can enjoy and cherish for decades to come, and always be reminded of how special she is to the family. Genesis Diamonds, online at genesisdiamonds.net.
Middle Tennessee, you can count on an award-winning service team for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Lee Company, we're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and trusted by thousands of homeowners in our community. Our team is ready to assist with all your home maintenance projects, heating and air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, appliance service, and more. Experience the convenience of calling one phone number for all your home maintenance needs. Call Lee Company today at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Nashville, it's Mike Greenberg, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Stillman and Company, the Ryan Tannehill answer heard around the country today, and tomorrow morning they will be breaking down the Celtics game. Here is my rundown for ESPN's morning show tomorrow. You ready?
Okay.
First story, Celtics.
Probably so.
And then they'll have like Tim Legler there and Jay Williams, and they'll talk about the Celtics.
Perk.
Second story, Tannehill. And it will be this, Elijah, do you have it? It'll be this Tannehill cut today when I asked him about the fact that, what is the dynamic going to be like between him and Malik Willis when ultimately Malik is there to take his job. Here's what Tannehill said.
I mean, that's part of being in a quarterback room in the same room. We're competing against each other. We're watching the same tape. We're doing the same drills. I don't think it's my job to mentor him, but if he learns from me along the way, then that's a great thing.
Trevor Maddich joins us now on the program, ESPN college football analyst presented by Houston Clinic Orthopedics. We're live out at Huckleberry Brewery. And again, the Preds watch party tonight at 8:30. Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters. Trev, your reaction to Tannehill today?
What a self-inflicted train wreck that answer was. The question was a good one. The question that you asked, Jared, was what Titans fans wanted to know. I mean, you represented the fans perfectly with that question. And it was not inappropriate in any way. It was a good question. But the way he answered it just brought a firestorm onto him and a firestorm of distraction on his team. And that's the thing that's the biggest to me. I mean, if he doesn't want to serve as a mentor to Malik Willis, well, okay, I understand that. I've had people try to take my job, and, I wasn't the most eager to tell them all my secrets kind of a thing. But as a quarterback for the team, there's a couple things you need to do. The first thing of these things that I'm thinking about relative to this situation is you've got to represent the team in a way that is an example for how you want everybody else to act, to think, to perform. And you do not want to set the example that everybody with the starting job is going to not help anybody else on the team that might take their job. That's not going to make the team better. And if I'm a member of that locker room, and I'm not speaking for any Titans players, this is just if I'm there, I'm thinking, okay, quarterback, I know you don't want your job to be taken, but guess what? There's 52 other guys in this locker room, and if you get hurt, and most of the time NFL quarterbacks miss time during the season due to injuries, if you get hurt, then our chance to win will rely possibly on Malik Willis and whether or not you're able to school him up on a few little nuances like how to watch the safeties and how to tell pre-snap or the first step after the snap where that safety might be going, right? These are things that a backup quarterback will only know if an experienced guy tells him because he doesn't have the time yet as a rookie to learn those things on his own. And if I'm in that locker room, I'm thinking, okay, dude, you don't want to tell him all your secrets, but you better be mentoring him because we might need him for 4 or 5 games to bridge us over until you come back from injury to get us to the playoffs. So that's one thing. The other thing is the way that he answered the question. I didn't get the impression that he was saying that he was, gonna not help this guy, and I'm gonna leave him hanging. And I didn't get that impression. But the way he answered the question left that impression. And the national media jumped all over it. It would have been so much better if he would have realized as a quarterback that he was going to be asked that question. And if he'd have thought to himself, well, what's the best way for me to answer this? What he'll do behind closed doors is a different thing. What's the best way for me to answer it publicly? And that best way would have been, we welcome him into the team. He'll make us better. It will be great to have competition with him. I'm going to do everything I can to help him. Let's go win some games. Now, if all he would have said was that, he could have done anything he wanted to do. Instead, as a quarterback who's been around this league for a long, long time, been through a whole lot of press conferences, he said the worst possible PR thing he could have said. And to not be prepared to answer that question better is an unnecessarily self-inflicted train wreck.
Trevor Maddich is with us, presented by Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters. I've got a theory on Tannehill. I'd like your opinion on this. I don't think Tannehill's a good leader. And I don't think it is out of malice or selfishness. I think it is out of ignorance. Today I asked, why did he not show up to the start of voluntary workouts? He talked about spending time with his family, and they have a renovation on their home in South Florida. And I took that as like, dude, you make $30 million. Nobody cares about your renovation in South Florida. But that I don't think it's out of this selfishness of, I'd rather be at home, but it's more so the ignorance of not understanding why the starting quarterback needs to be there and why it's a big story if the starting quarterback isn't there. Trevor, my theory is he's just not a good leader, and it's not his fault, but that's the reality of the situation. You played with good leaders. I'm sure you played with bad leaders. What's your thoughts?
I thought that answer and his whole response to the first part of the off season, not showing up at the very beginning of voluntary workouts, was as tone deaf as anything I could think of from a quarterback for a long, long time. Completely tone deaf. Because once again, if I'm in that locker room, this is me personally talking now, and I was in NFL locker rooms for 12 years, I'm wondering why my leader, who was instrumental in us getting bounced out of the playoffs after being the number 1 seed because of poor play and poor decisions, why that guy, it's okay for him to not show up because he's got some things to do. Hey, nobody else could have helped with that renovation. Had to be him. He had to be there and all that. But why is it important that I be there then? Why is it important that anybody else be there then? That's part of that example. And you could say that's being a poor leader. You could say it's tone deaf, or you could say that he just doesn't care. I don't know what the answer is. In listening to the entirety of that press conference, I didn't get the impression that he doesn't care. I thought that he answered a lot of questions in a very self-deprecating way, especially when he talked about the reaction that he had to the loss against Cincinnati and how much that bothered him. I thought all that was very humble, and it was very good. But then he not only doesn't show up at the beginning of OTAs and says, yeah, you guys be there, but I got better things to do. I don't care that he doesn't need to do the workouts. He really kind of doesn't. That's not the point. The point is, what's our culture? And is our culture for everyone or everyone except the quarterback? And so he doesn't show up for the beginning of the OTAs to set that example. And then in the press conference, again, I hope he was just unprepared for it, but to use as part of his reasoning for not being there that, we had some things going on with the family and we had some renovations. Wait a minute. Everybody's got things going on. Everybody's making sacrifices. And what he's saying to his teammates in the locker room is, I could do my work on my own, no big deal. I don't have to be there. You'll be there. I don't have to be there. And if you don't want to be there, that's no problem either. What kind of culture is that, as led by an example from the most important leader in the locker room? So it was incredibly, poor thinking to not show up for the first OTAs. And then it was even worse to take a deep breath, walk up for the press conference, and then give that as a reason why he wasn't there.
Trevor Matich is with us, presented by Houston Clinic Orthopedics. After what we saw transpire with A.J. Brown, after what we heard from Tannehill, are you concerned about the Titans' culture going into this season?
I'm not. I think there's enough strong leaders in there, especially on the defensive side of the ball. A couple guys on the offensive line, Derrick Henry. I think there's some people that will be able to make that culture, continue to keep it rolling. And I think Tannehill's going to have to just kind of get used to it and get back into it. A.J. Brown now is gone, right? You got a bunch of rookies coming in. But I think it's up to, guys on the defensive line, on the offensive line, Taylor Lewan, Benjamin, those guys to take some of those young guys aside, especially those wide receivers, and kind of educate them as to what the culture is. I think it's good that you've got a guy in Mike Vrabel that's so fresh from the fight himself as a player in the game before he was a coach. That will help, but really culture top down isn't nearly as effective as culture from the locker room. Unfortunately, in getting rid of A.J. Brown, they've lost the guy that's most likely to set the culture in the wide receiver room. And right now, I frankly don't trust Ryan Tannehill to set any culture. I don't think he has much credibility to set culture. Because you're going to have probably both rookies that were drafted at wide receiver. They're both going to make the team, and they're both going to be instrumental. So who now is going to be the one to kind of straighten them out and get them on the straight and narrow? And I think you're going to be relying on a left tackle in order to get that done from a culture standpoint. That's a pretty unfortunate place to be.
Trevor Matich is with us, presented by Houston Clinic Orthopedics. Let's talk some actual football on the other side. Trevor's reaction to Treylon Burks and how much of a difference he's going to make as opposed to A.J. Brown. When is Malik Willis going to get on the field? What are his expectations there? And the other draftees of the Titans, Trevor Matich, ESPN college football analyst, we'll get his thoughts on that next. Live out at Huckleberry Brewery out here in Cool Springs on Fraser Boulevard next to Sperry's. The watch party, 8:30 tonight. Win Brett's tickets for Game 3 against the Avs at Stillman and Company on ESPN 1025 The Game. Elijah, are we supposed to tell anybody about the fine folks anywhere?
Not yet.
Okay, that's good. Stillman & Company, it's ESPN 1025 The Game.
Tune in every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. for Nashville's own Jason Fitz with Jarrett Stillman and Company. Fitz started his sports talk career right here on 1025 The Game, and now he anchors shows for ESPN. Jason Fitz is brought to you by Blood Assurance. Give blood. Give local. Give life.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
A few thunderstorms will remain possible through the evening hours. A couple could be on the strong side with hail and wind. We'll look at clearing skies going into the overnight. Temperatures drop back to the upper 50s. For Fox 17, I'm Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Get work ready this week at Northern Tool and Equipment. Save up to 50% on truck boxes, scaffolding, shop tools and equipment, storage, and more.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Hillside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now, 615-576-5000.
Trying to find a new home right now is next to impossible. Very little inventory, prices are crazy high, rates are moving up. Here's a better idea. Let my friends at Loan Pronto refinance your current home, turn all that equity you have into cash, and totally transform your house. A new kitchen, new bathroom, a pool. Think about it. Your home value is up. Instead of wasting all that on an overpriced new house, convert that equity into cash for a home makeover. One local couple did it and got $200,000 out. They added new hardwoods, an outdoor living space, a swimming pool with spa and all new cabinets and appliances, plus a home office. Now they have their dream home, and they never had to move. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their home improvement refi. Give your home a total makeover and do it now. You can even skip your next house payment in the process. Call now, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval.
Nashville's Anheuser-Busch distributor, Ajax Turner Company, is hiring Class A drivers and driver trainees who will obtain their Class A license through the company's very own driver training and testing program for free. Be home every day and off on weekends while earning competitive wages and receiving benefits like medical and life insurance, paid time off, 401k, and supplemental insurance programs. Apply at ajaxturner.com/career or call 615-280-3904. Anheuser-Busch reminds you to drink responsibly.
The Ainsworth Nashville has been bringing a sophisticated twist to the classic All-American Sports Bar, restaurant, and private event experience in Midtown since 2018. Our multi-purpose venue consists of a full-scale restaurant, bar and lounge, and event space. Come for the wings, stay for our happy hour, and visit us for brunch on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We've got the good times to keep you singing all night long. The Ainsworth Nashville. Burgers, cocktails, sports.
Visit the Ainsworth at 206 21st Avenue South in Nashville or online at theainsworth.com.
Darren McFarland.
That should get you in the mood for a game tonight.
Willie Donick.
I think between 5.5 and 6 is probably in the ballpark.
Chase McCabe.
Typically, I like to take the most difficult task and do it first.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Stillman and Company, delivered by TriStar Moving.
We are live at Huckleberry Brewery, the home. That's right, the home of tonight's Preds watch party for Game 1 against the Colorado Avalanche. Trevor Maddich, ESPN college football analyst, is our guest, presented by Houston Clinic Orthopedics. When experience matters. So, Trev, I just want to lay this out for you. We've talked a lot today about Tannehill and what he said and what he didn't say, but the draft is over. We now know Treylon Burks in the first round. Caroline and I were talking about this after the show, Trev. We haven't even talked about Treylon Burks much because it's been about the AJ drama, and then they drafted Malik Willis and the Tannehill drama. How do you see Treylon Burks in, A.J. Brown out, working for the Titans?
I think one thing you have to think about is whether or not A.J. Brown was probably going to be out anyway. With the high-end wide receiver contracts that were being signed to free agency this year, probably only be even bigger next year, would the Titans be able to really keep him long-term without breaking the bank? So I'm not sure if they decided that he was going to be gone anyhow. You don't get better on the field by swapping A.J. Brown with a rookie, any rookie. But at the same time, you don't just think about Treylon Burks being the swap, because there were a series of trades. There was a trade with Philadelphia that gave the Titans the 18th pick and then Philly's third-round pick. And then the Titans turned around and packaged that third-round pick with their 26th, traded to the Jets, ended up picking up 3 more picks, right? So you've got 4 rookies that ended up coming out of that combination of trades. Burks in the first round, but then corner Roger McCreary in the second round, the offensive lineman Petit Frere in the third round, and then Kyle Phillips, the slot receiver out of UCLA, in the fifth. So you got 4 rookies that are going to eat up maybe $5 million, $6 million in cap space for, this year and next and all that. Then you've got another 15 to 18 million that you would have had to allocate to A.J. Brown that you can spend on free agents and to sign your own guys. So you got A.J. Brown for 4 rookies and a whole bunch of money that you can spend on other folks. And that's the way you have to kind of do the math. On the field, the thing about Burks is that he's a big guy that is open even when he's covered because he can use his physicality to fight defensive backs for the ball. He's very strong, and he's pretty big. I mean, he's, 6'2", about 225, with a 4.5 40, mid 4.5s 40, and he ran away from SEC defensive backs game after game after game. So just if you look at just purely on the field, what he is able to do is all potential. But I think the potential is very, very interesting, and him combined with some of those other guys, it may end up being good long-term for Tennessee. As a matter of fact, I think it will. The question is, how soon will those guys be able to contribute?
Trevor, you hate quarterbacks in the first round. This year, only one went in Kenny Pickett. Malik Willis at 86. One, your reaction to the pick for the Titans, and two, when do you think he'll be ready to contribute?
I think give him a year or two. Certainly in 2 years, you'll know if he's going to be ready to contribute anytime soon. By taking him in the third round makes that a very good risk-reward possibility. I think this coming season, he has a chance to get on the field and contribute right away because his ability to run and his ability to throw deep accurately on the run means that Tennessee can put him on the field in packages. So he's got 6 plays he can run in this situation. They're all some version of a rollout or a quarterback run or a read option or something like that. And then throw the ball deep. I mean, get the ball down the field. And just that capability, if he's able to complete some of those early, will open up the running game underneath because the safeties have to stay deep. So that's fascinating to me. Throwing the ball in the intermediate range is where he really needs to develop from a physical standpoint. But they don't even need to really ask him to do that. If he can hit some of those deep passes, which he is best at, then he doesn't really need to worry too much about reading the defense. He just needs to see the receiver that's running deep and throw the ball out in front of the guy. And he's got the arm to do it, and safeties need to fear that. So I think he'll be on the field this year in packages, and then we'll see how quickly he can develop the other aspects of the craft of quarterbacking.
Would you carry a second quarterback, or I guess a third quarterback to go with them and leave them all active on game day? Because I do worry if there's only 2 quarterbacks and Tannehill goes down, is Malik Willis actually ready to be taking snaps after what he did at Liberty?
Yeah, I absolutely would do that. I think Logan Woodside, if he ends up being the guy, he's been the guy, would be important just because until you can get enough plays into the playbook that Malik Willis is able to run at an NFL level. It doesn't have to be the whole playbook, but you've got to get enough because defenses will figure out pretty quickly what he's being asked to do and what he's not being asked to do, and he'll take away what he's being asked to do. Then having a guy like Woodside that knows more of the playbook is necessary, and that's one of the unfortunate things. That means they need to lose depth at another position, and especially depth at special teams, but I think it would be worth it to keep Woodside, if he's the guy, as another quarterback who's ready to go just in case Tannehill goes down. Because right now, this year, you do not want to trust Malik Willis with your team.
Mm-hmm. Trevor, were there any other picks you liked of the Titans? What did you think of their draft as a whole?
Well, I thought their draft as a whole was good. I mean, I thought it was very interesting. I really like Hassan Haskins in the 4th round, running back out of Michigan. He's a big back who will take a lot of hits off of the body of Derrick Henry. And really, he's got okay speed. He doesn't have a whole lot of wiggle, but he will lay the lumber on you. And he takes a lot of big hits, but those big hits are cumulative for the defense as well. And he's the kind of a guy that in taking those hits, the defense wears down. Henry won't wear down quite as much because Haskins has taken it. And if he can give him 3 or 4 years of that, then he's not very fast, he's not very big, but he's super quick with his feet and really good at separating in the middle of the field in those short routes, those Julian Edelman kind of routes. The guy, got him the MVP of the Super Bowl, right? Where you just run those little, you go left, you go right. You're too quick for the defensive back to respond to it. The ball gets there on time. You gain 7 yards, right? So I think he'll be able to contribute right away. I think he'll make the team. And then Chigzum Okwonu, the tight end out of Maryland, is fascinating to me. He was taken in the 4th round. He is not a big guy. As a tight end, he's 6'2", about 240, extremely raw. But his physical traits are fantastic. I mean, he runs a 4.5 40, and he's not a very good blocker yet, but he's got the strength to be able to do it. And I think an ideal position for him outside of special teams would be as an H-back/fullback. So you move him around, teach him to block. Doesn't have to be devastating, just has to be able to get in the way all right. But then that kind of a position, if you could sneak him out into the open field and now he's running a 4.5 down the field, it puts all kinds of stress on the defense. And so he is a matchup problem. I think it's very intriguing. Again, he's super raw, but taking him when they did in the 4th round is a very good risk reward on him too.
Trevor Maddich, ESPN college football analyst, joins us every Tuesday, presented by Houston Clinic Orthopedics. Trevor, you were bringing it 95 right down the middle today. We love it. Appreciate you, Trev.
All right, thanks, Jared.
Yep, Trevor Maddich joining us on the program. And, boy, Trev was bringing it. We are live out here at Huckleberry Brewery, out here in Cool Springs. They literally just opened. This is the cold open tonight for the watch party at 8:30, where we'll be giving away a pair of Preds tickets for game number 3. Tonight is game number 1. We'll be giving away tickets for game 3 here in Nashville. The game is at 8:30. And coming up next, I got to ask the question of the city. Do the Predators have a chance? What kind of chance do the Predators have if they have a chance? We'll get to that coming up next. First, though, Caroline wants to tell you about the odds with the Caesar Sportsbook app.
Yes, I do. It is time for the Caesar Sportsbook Report, a very special Predators Stanley Cup playoff version of the Caesar Sportsbook Report. Caesar Sportsbook is giving out first bet insurance for all of their new users, up to $1,100, and Caesar Sportsbook has got you covered. Just download the app and use promo code RADIOCZR. One word, RADIOCZR, and then place your first bet. And if you win, then congratulations, you just got a little bit richer, but if not, then you'll get your wager back as a free bet. And if you need something to put that first bet on, look at the Preds game tonight. They're at Colorado tonight, puck drop at 8:30. I am going to take the Avs -1.5. Didn't love the meltdown that I saw at Arizona. I know the Predators were able to snag a win against the Avs this past week, but I just don't feel great about the game tonight with the Predators traveling and the way that they've been playing. But hey, that's my take. Do it how you want to do it, but just do it with the Caesar Sportsbook app. Must be 21 and physically present in Tennessee. New users only. Bet amount of a qualifying wager returned only if wager is settled as a loss. Paid as a single bet credit. Must be used within 14 days. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Gambling problem? Call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. Caesar Sportsbook. Download it, people.
The voice of reason.
Now, you may say, well, a quarterback is more important than a running back. That's fine. You can say whatever you want.
The voice of the fan.
Even if we have to develop him while he's playing, I just want a boring first-round pick.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
The metal tour of the year. Megadeth, Lamb of God, with special guests Trivium and In Flames. This Friday, Bridgestone Arena. 4 of metal's biggest artists share the stage for one epic night. This is a on sale now. Buy tickets at livenation.com. Megadeth, Lamb of God, with special guests Trivium and In Flames.
312 Pizza Company is Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria, and they're now hiring. Work for a family-owned business and be a part of their incredible team. 312 Pizza Company is hiring for all positions, including host, waitstaff, bartenders, cooks, and more. 312 Pizza Company offers health insurance and paid time off to full-time employees. Contact Kimberly at 615-730-7888 or email at contact@312pizzaco.com. 312 is an equal opportunity employer.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics wants to thank their patients for voting them the #1 orthopedic practice in the Nashville Scene Poll for 3 years in a row. Their physicians specialize in spine, joint replacement, knee, hip, upper extremity, and other orthopedic conditions. At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, they adhere to all CDC guidelines for the patient's and staff safety. To experience world-class orthopedic care and see a list of all physicians, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
Winter's a bad time for your furnace to go out, but it's never a bad time to call Lee Company. Our heating and air conditioning pros are available 24/7. No heat? Don't wait. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000. Our expert technicians will diagnose the issue and fix it right the first time. When you're cold, you need someone you can count on to bring the heat. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Huckleberry Brewing is now open. Formerly Cool Springs Brewery. New owners, new look, fabulous menu, and same great location. So come on out and join us for a live remote on Tuesday, May 3rd with ESPN The Game, as we're proud to be an official Predators watch party destination. Come cheer on our Preds and enjoy one or all of our great craft beers. Our master brewer and friendly staff can't wait to see you. Bring the kids and let them enjoy our game room. Huckleberry Brewing is located at 600A Fraser Drive, next to Sperry's in Cool Springs.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving, ESPN 102.5 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry, live today in the Hillside Medical Game Studios at Huckleberry Brewery in Cool Springs. It used to be Cool Springs Brewery. This is a soft open. This tonight, 8:30, the watch party for the Preds and the Avs, the official 102.5 The Game watch party is right here. So be showing up around, I don't know, what do you think, 7:45, 8 o'clock?
If not earlier, get yourself your seat and a beer.
Well, I mean, it's too much time. I mean, like, you could be there at 7:30 and then the game's going to be over at midnight. You know, that's kind of tough.
I'll let the people decide their social schedule.
I'm thinking like 8:30. That's what I'm thinking like 8:10. 8:10. But either way, we will have your opportunity to win Preds tickets. That's right, a pair of tickets. And since they're our tickets and we're the official partner of the Predators, they're pretty darn good. For game number 3 at Bridgestone Arena, it's next to Sperry's here in Cool Springs on Fraser Boulevard. This place is freaking awesome. We got TVs everywhere. We just talked to the master brewer earlier today. They gave us the chicken fingers. They gave us the fries. I now feel like I'm 800 pounds, but whatever.
They were really good, though.
So I'm going to be real with you. We got NHL Network on one of the mini TVs right in front of us. EJ Raddick and Ken Danko they both picked the Avalanche. I mean, it is the Colorado Avalanche are the overwhelming favorites in this series. As I said 4 years ago, when the Avalanche were the 16th team and the Predators were the first team, and I said, look, the Avs are the Punch and Judy Avs, and you should take care of them in 4. The roles are reversed. You are the Punch and Judy Predators with a backup goalie, and they are the Colorado Avalanche. So I asked this question. In 2017, I gave the Predators no chance. By the way, there's Ryan Tannehill on Sports.
I was just about to say.
I gave the Predators no chance in 2017 to beat the Blackhawks. 0. I picked the Blackhawks in 5. I made fun of the local media that picked the Predators. I just went ham. And the Predators won that series. What chance do we give the Predators to win this series? And again, we've seen them when I gave them no chance before sweep Chicago. What chance do we give them?
I understand that these are the Stanley Cup playoffs, and anything can happen.
Anything
can
happen
Stanley
in the
Cup
playoffs.
I totally understand that. I give the Predators like a 10% chance of winning this series. 10%.
10?
Yes.
That's high.
10%.
Oh,
that means I give the Avs a 90% chance of winning this series.
I think that's high.
I mean, anything can happen in this, like a playoffs.
So I was thinking about this, comparing this to 2017. And I was stunned when you look back at it. Like, this Avalanche team, in my opinion, is better than that Avs team. Now, that Avs team had won 3 cups in 5 years, and they were 2 years removed from winning a cup in 2015. That Avs team was the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. They had 109 points. This Avalanche team had 119 points. This Avalanche team, though,
this is a very good team.
They are known for choking in the playoffs. Up until that point, the Blackhawks were known for winning in the playoffs. And it was always like a 1-year break. So they won in 2010, 2 years of losing because Jonathan Quick stole a cup. And then they won in 2013, and then Jonathan Quick stole another cup. And then they won in 2015, and then they lost in 2016, and they were back in 17. The Avalanche are starting to have a little bit of a history for choking. Like, I was talking to Darren about it today at the studio, and he was like, if the Avalanche lose this series, Jared Bednar, who is the coach at Colorado, who I think is a good coach, he thinks if they lose this series, Jared Bednar is fired because of the past, playoff losses and because of the fact that, the Predators are not expected to win. And then I was thinking, too, about, like, last night. I stayed up for the Kings and Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
Edmonton is by far infinitely more talented than the Kings. The Kings won last night. I think the Kings are going to win that series. You know why I think the Kings are going to win that series?
Why?
Because Edmonton always freaking chokes. This Edmonton team, it's not like the Red Sox where it's 80 years, but this Edmonton group, the McDavid-Draisaitl group, all they do is freaking choke. And I think they're going to choke again to the Kings. So you got to remember that sometimes these teams that choke, when the big moment comes, they choke.
They do what they do best.
It's like Jim Harbaugh coaching a football team. Like, you get to that moment, and then, boom, you choke. So I do keep that in mind. What I was amazed by is the 2017 Preds had 94 points. This team had 97. And if you had told me that without looking it up, I'd have said, wait a minute. That team in 17 had less points than this team this year? And I have a hard time getting over that. But I don't think the two teams are comparable. Because you go back to that Chicago series where this Predators team will have Alexander Carrier. That Predators team had PK Subban in his prime. Where this Predators team will have Dante Fabro. That Predators team had an uninjured Ryan Ellis. So that team was better.
In the goalie situation.
That's where I was going next. That Predators team had Pekka Rinne in net. This team has David Rittich in net. And so, I mean, I got to be honest with you. I think that this would be less of an accomplishment. This would be far greater of an accomplishment for the Predators to take this series than it was when they swept Chicago in 2017. And I just don't see it. And I don't see it for so many different reasons. Again, I've been wrong before. I had to walk across the pedestrian bridge in nothing but bikinis because I said that they wouldn't sweep the Blackhawks, and they ended up sweeping the Blackhawks. But I just can't see it. In order for them to win this series, they would have to win the first, in my opinion, they'd have to win the first 2 games in Colorado. And they'd have to win the first game, like the way they won the first game of the Preds-Blackhawks series in 2017. So if you don't remember that game, the Predators went to Chicago. They were massive underdogs, and Pekka Rinne had a 29-save shutout. And that third period, they were just firing pucks on net. And I remember Crispy on the TV broadcast after the game was doing it with Willie and Mace, and they asked him, or I guess this was still Stu Grimson at the time. It was Willie and Stu and Crispy, and they asked the 3 stars of the game, and Crispy goes, Pekka Rinne, Pekka Rinne, Pekka Rinne, ha, 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 I'm just kidding. But he wasn't. And so they stole that first game, and when they stole that first game, I felt, and I think that Chicago felt like, well, they got lucky. We're still better than them. We outplayed them. We were in their end the entire third period. They got lucky. And then when the Predators smoked them 5-0 in game 2, I think there was a very real feeling on both sides where the Predators were like, we might be better than this team. And I think with Chicago, I think there was a feeling that where they sat there and they were like, okay, yes, that team is a lot better than we thought, but we're still the Blackhawks, and we'll show them. And then the Predators just gutted out a win in Game 3. And when they won that overtime game in Game 3, like, it was over. And Bridgestone Arena was electric, and that ended that series. This series almost has to play the exact same way, in my opinion. You have to steal Game 1 so that Colorado thinks, like, we're better than them. They just got lucky. Then you have to win Game 2. Now, you can still steal it, but you have to find a way to win Game 2. And then you got to take one of the two at home in 3 and 4, and then you've got a shot. And with this goalie, I don't see a 29-save shutout.
That just feels
with
like
this defense, I don't see a 29-save shutout. I just don't see it. And I've been wrong before. But, I mean, I just don't see it. Other than the typical, it's the Stanley Cup playoffs, and anything can happen in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
And that's really the only thing that's kind of pulling me to say, like, yeah, that could happen, is the fact that anything can happen in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I just look at so many things in the Predators' side, not just the goalie in net, not just UC Saros being out for a couple games, but also looking at the fact that this team was just deflated in that third period against Arizona. The fact that when their game plan of playing tough and playing hard wasn't working anymore, they blew a 4-goal lead. The fact that when their initial game plan of out-toughing the other team doesn't work, then they have no game plan. Because they're not going to be bigger than Colorado. They're not going to skate faster than Colorado. And they really don't have as many good players as Colorado. So what you have is your toughness. But if the Predators can't keep that up for 3 periods, for 4, 5, 6, 7 games, I have a really hard time thinking that the Predators are able to steal this series.
I don't think the Predators can out-tough the Avs. I don't think they can do it. Like, the idea that they're going to go in there and they're going to be more tough. Remember, they tried that last year against Carolina. They tried to be more tough than Carolina last year, and Carolina out-toughed them.
That series was more competitive than I think I expected it to be.
I mean, maybe, but Carolina
But also Carolina won the series.
Like, they out-toughed them. So their game plan was to be tough, and then they got out-toughed.
So what's your game plan?
I think your game plan is you look at the guys that you pay a lot of money to, and you're like, you guys are going to have to carry this series.
You have to go do. Yeah,
like, you're going to have to carry this
team.
team. Like, Matt Duchene, you're going to have to carry this team. And Philip Forsberg, you're going to have to carry the team. And you have to pray that the goalie can just save enough. Like, you're going to have to score. If you want to beat this team, you're going to have to score 5 or 6 goals a night. And I don't think it's going to happen. But you want to know the thing that just gets me going about this series?
What?
So in 2017, I said no chance, no way, no how. The GM was picking them, and that was just to get me riled up, and it worked. The fans would call in all the time. We're not worried about Chicago, Jared. We're going to be fine. We'll get to your phones in a second. I don't think the fans have a ton of optimism going into this series. Maybe I'm wrong.
We have 2 people texting in saying that Preds in 7.
How? Like, I just, how? That's my question for everybody. 615-737-1025. How? That's all I'm saying. How? No goalie, not good enough players, great players on the other team, home ice to them, all the pressure in the world. The pressure's on them. There is no pressure on the Predators. That might be the biggest advantage they have. Your thoughts? 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. There is one national analyst that is picking the Predators. His explanation, kind of interesting. We'll get to that coming up next right here on Stillman & Company. But, of course, we are to your wonderful phone calls as well. Right here, we are live for the watch party tonight, 8:30 at Huckleberry Brewery. I feel bad because I have high expectations, or I don't have high expectations for the Predators. But you know that if they screw up tonight, I'm going to lose my mind tomorrow.
Yep.
And if they win tonight, I'm going to be so freaking giddy. Oh, my goodness. 615-737-1025. We are live at Huckleberry Brewery here in Cool Springs. It's next to Sperry's on Fraser Boulevard. Come at 8:30. Register to win those Game 3 tickets. Drink the beer here. Eat the food here. Watch the game here. We'll have our official watch party. It's Stillman & Company on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Do you have that one person or thing that just makes you mad? Join us every Friday at noon on the DDC for You Just Made the List. Fueled by Parman Energy. Visit ParmanEnergy.com. Your one-stop petroleum solution, and TriStar Movie on the DDC on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
You just made the list.
The city famous for its music is about to be overwhelmed by the Symphony of Speed. June 24th through 26th, Nashville Superspeedway will host an exciting weekend of NASCAR racing and entertainment featuring the Ally 400 Cup Series race, the Tennessee Lottery 250, and the Rackley Roofing 200. Tickets are going fast, so visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com or call 866-RACE-TIX and brace yourself for some full-throttle fun.
Realizing Geico has over 85 years of experience saving folks money and providing great customer service is like realizing there's a crumb tray on the bottom of your toaster, and you don't have to keep turning the toaster upside down to clean it.
How long has that been there? Hey, who needs some croutons?
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or realizing that baby carrots are just regular carrots that have been shaved down.
I don't care. They're still cute.
It's something you can't believe you never realized before. Like how Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating means Geico is committed to providing the best service for their customers. Or how you can peel the top layer of tape off a lint roller and there's a fresh layer underneath.
Marcy, wait till you hear about the lint roller.
You mean how the handle is reusable?
Wait, what?
Trust. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe here to tell you about Dr. Kelly Rice Family Cosmetic and Dental Sleep Medicine. Dr. Rice, listen, we all have cavities, but what's the best way to try and keep them from happening?
Cavities are like any other health condition. You don't really know you have one until it gets bad. Recently, I saw a patient for treatment that they had been putting off. Something that could have been simple to fix 6 months ago turned out to need a root canal and a crown. Postponing treatment costs more and takes time away from work.
Nobody wants a root canal, so you're right. Regular checkups are very important.
Well, we do things differently. I want to let people know that if they're afraid of pain or worried about the cost, they are not alone. Don't be embarrassed. We understand. Give us a call at 615-373-4488. That's KellyERice.com.
Dr. Kelly Rice Family Cosmetic and Dental Sleep Medicine. If you don't have dental insurance, no problem. Be sure to join their membership club. Just visit KellyERice.com or call 615-373-4488 now to schedule your cleaning and checkup. You'll certainly be glad you did.
We've all heard the saying that a little can go a long way. This is especially true during the Big Paybacks 24-hour online giving event, helping support hundreds of local nonprofit organizations. From 6 p.m. on May 4th through 6 p.m. on May 5th, a gift as little as $10 could be boosted by cash prizes and help to make a big difference in the life-changing work of local nonprofits. Find out more at thebigpayback.org.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Interact with Stillman and Company. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Hey, John, you guys have played well against the Avs this year. You've got guys who paid deep runs before. I would imagine it's not a big sales job to convince these guys they can win this series.
You know, I think the big thing is, you know, like we've talked about. I mean, we feel like we certainly belong in the playoffs. We feel like we have a real strong identity, and as you said, we have some good experience of guys that have made some runs. You know, I thought we had some of our younger guys that are in the lineup now had gone through a pretty good playoff series against Carolina last year, and now it's now it's coming in, and I think it's not reading too much into it. Is that, you know, we know how we need to play to be able to give ourselves the best chance to win. And I think our focus has to be, regardless of, experience, no experience, is come in and focus on the game, because that's ultimately what's going to make the difference is how we play and getting to our identity and doing a good job of the things that the Avalanche do really well. And I think if we do that, we'll give ourselves a chance.
John Hines, Predators coach, as they get set to take on the Avalanche tonight, 8:30 right here, ESPN 102.5 The Game. We are here at Huckleberry Brewery, which again is in Cool Springs, right next to Sperry's. We'll have the watch party here, the cold open, 8:30 tonight. Your chance to win Game 3 tickets. So there is one, and I see your phones, and we'll get right to them, and then Hal Gill will join us. But There is one national media member who is picking the Predators to win. Dominic Moore. So I guess he played in the league. Dominic Moore is picking the Predators. Adam Vingan asked him why he's picking the Predators. His answer was, I like the Preds. Obviously, Saros out early puts a big dent in my prediction, but sometimes teams have a way of rallying when a player that important to the team is out, and then when he's back, he's the type of goalie that can steal a series anytime. I also like the Preds' heavy forecheck, particularly the Herd line against some of these skilled, smaller Avs D. And don't underestimate the underdog mentality. When you have nothing to lose, you are capable of playing some really great hockey. I'm okay with that analysis, except that I do feel like that analysis could be used for almost any underdog team.
See, I feel like the analysis is just it's placed on a lot of hope.
Yeah, it's a lot of, I
when
can see
Saros comes back, he's the type of goalie that can steal a series, which I don't doubt. I think Saros can be the type of goalie that can steal a series, but when he comes back, and usually an underdog team like this has nothing to lose, I just feel like it's based in a lot of hope, which I think that, that's fine to have, but if I'm going to put my money on it, I'm not going to place my money on hope.
Let's go to your phones, as promised, 615-737-1025, and the phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Bob is going to kick us off this hour. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, Bob.
I really like the Predators team this year. I love the way that they play. I'm an optimist, but I'm a realistic optimist, and I think even if everything falls their way in terms of the forecheck and adequate goaling and whatnot, I think their ultimate demise is going to be caused by their lack of discipline. Their lack of discipline just drives me crazy, and I think that will prove their ultimate undoing.
I appreciate your call, Bob. I'm going to say this. They can't go to the box, and they're going to go to the box. And when they go to the box, they're going to lose.
Colorado's going to score.
This
penalty kill isn't good enough.
The penalty kill sucks. Like, the penalty, and not only that, you would figure, like, okay, if your penalty kill was that bad, eventually you would be like, you know what, we can't start every game in the box. And then every game starts, and it's Nashville, 2 minutes for tripping. And it's like, other team, here you go. You can't do it against this team. I mean, L.A. tried to lose last night. They kept going to the box. Every time they went to the box, Edmonton put one in the back of the net. You can't do that. You cannot do that. This penalty kill, especially this team, you cannot do that. And I think the style of play stuff, I get where people feel like, that deep forecheck, that constant aggression, the Avalanche aren't used to dealing with that, and I get it and I understand it, but I don't think the Predators, most good, tough, physical teams, play solid defense. This team does not, and they have a backup goalie in there. And, not a backup goalie like last year. If they had to put the backup goalie in, you had Pekka Rinne as the backup goalie. This guy is a backup. This guy is like all those starting quarterbacks in the NFL that are legitimate backups, like Case Keenum, but worse. And that's what you have in that. Let's go to Bryce, who's up next here on the program. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, Bryce.
Hey, guys. I think there's one thing that I really want to see is Yossi and Makar and just kind of how that whole dynamic plays out with them being Norris Trophy candidates. And I just hope it's a good series. That's all I got to say. Just want to hear your take on that.
Thanks for the call. I don't care about the Norris Trophy right now. I know, this is the one thing where, me and the fans are very different. And I'm a fan. We talked about this during the break about how, I love the Titans, I love the Predators, and I think most people probably know that, right?
I would hope so.
Even though I get so worked up about it, obviously, I love the Titans and I love the Predators. I do not care about the Norris Trophy. I did not care that Mike Vrabel was coach of the year. I do not care about that. And I definitely don't care about it in this series. And I'm going to be honest with you, if I had to vote for Norris Trophy, I'd probably give it to Cale Makar. I'm doing that because I think the Predators' defense stinks. And if I'm going to give you an award for Defenseman of the Year, you need to be able to play defense. Now, the point total is ridiculous for Yossi.
Yes. But he's an offensive defenseman.
But it's and I get it. That's how we do things, and I understand it, and I don't love it. But I'm kind of interested to see, the Fabro-Sam Girard thing. Because Fabro was taken in the first round, Gerard was taken in the second round, Gerard was traded, and the reason they traded Gerard was they felt comfortable doing it because they had Fabro, and now Gerard's on their second pair, and you've got Fabro on your either first or second pair, and if Fabro stinks it up this series and Gerard plays well, that will be a swing and a miss for David Poile. Like a true go back 5 years, swing and a miss when he made that decision. And that's like when we talk about the draft and we say these things aren't decided because Mel Kiper Jr. gives it a C+, but it's decided 3 or 4 years down the road.
Especially when they're going head-to-head in the playoffs.
And I have said that the Kyle Turris trade is the worst trade in the history of the Predators, and I stand by it. And I'm not sure if there's been a trade the last couple of years that's been egregious, and I don't think there has been. That one will be on full display here. Let's go to Keith in Bowling Green, who's up next. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, Keith.
Hey, guys, I'm going to pick the Predators in 6. I think they'll lose the first and the 5th game. And I'll tell you why. Predators match up well against Colorado. You were
With a
talking
backup
about
goalie?
the Predators. Yeah. But you were talking about the Predators not playing good on defense. Well, Colorado doesn't play good defense either. And their goalies are suspect. Anyway, I'm going to call on the ghost of Floyd Reese. Just make it to the playoffs, baby.
Hey, remember,
he
he picked Chicago and said had them right where they wanted them. Thank you for your call, Keith. I get it. Like, here's my thing about Colorado. They don't have to have good goaltending. And they don't have good goaltending. But they don't have to have good goaltending. Like, the teams that win the Cup usually don't have great goaltending unless it's, Jonathan Quick in L.A. just stealing. But when you've got the high-end big boy forwards, and they may have the best high-end big boy forward, when you've got the high-end big boy forwards, you don't need a great goalie. The Predators lost the series against Chicago in 2015. They benched Corey Crawford in Game 1, went with Scott Darling. Then they benched Scott Darling. They went with Corey Crawford. And then they benched Corey Crawford again and went with Scott Darling. And it didn't matter because they had Taves and Kane and Keith and Seabrook and Hjalmarsson and Hossa and all those guys. And, like, with them, that's how electric Colorado is, up and down that lineup, and that's hard for me. And I just don't see it with the Predators. I think the Herd line, can be physical with them, sure, and I think that will frustrate Colorado a little bit. But as far as, the Predators are putting guys on the first and second pairs that probably are third pair defensemen. When the Predators were winning playoff series, they had 4 number 1 defensemen. They don't have that anymore. And then you've got, Colorado that's got the big boy forwards, and that is a recipe with a backup goalie for you. That is a recipe for disaster. Preds in 6. Whew. Boy, I tell you, if they win this series in 6 games,
I'd love that.
I will be freaking.
I'd be all
shocked.
over it.
I would be freaking shocked.
I don't feel comfortable making that prediction, but I'd love it if it came true.
Hal Gill joins us next. He's live in Denver. We'll get Hal's thoughts. I'm going to ask Hal the same question. If they're going to do it, how are they going to do it? We'll get to Hal. We'll get his thoughts on it, and we'll get more of your phone, 615-737-1025. Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Those are my guys. They take great care of me. They are proud supporters of the Predators, and they will be rooting hard for the Predators tonight. Hiller they are taking great care of you because there's no better time to upgrade your essential home systems than this month with my friends at Hiller. Until the end of May, Hiller is offering 0 interest for 60 months on select new HVAC systems, 0 interest for 12 months on new tankless water heaters, and 0 interest for 12 months on new whole home generators. If you need a new system for your home, do it this month because these financing offers are available for a limited time only to help you stay comfortable and cool all summer and handle the payments later. Visit happyhiller.com for all of the details. As always, Happy You'll Be Here. The service is free. That's Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Proud supporters of the Preds, the Vols, and Vandy. Hiller, call the Happy Face truck today.
Hey, this is Matt Duchene, and this is Smashville.
Running down the left side with Duchene. Duchene scores! Matt Duchene with the overtime winner.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture eats strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with three-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best Award winner, Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Go to mbofmc.com.
Curation CBD is a local family-owned business started and grown right here in Middle Tennessee. Curation's mission is to provide the community with locally and organically sourced CBD products for everyday use. Curation means healing, and their CBD products will do just that. Are you experiencing aches and pains as you age? Curation CBD products can help reduce pain and inflammation. Having trouble sleeping? Curation can help. Are you a pet owner looking for anxiety relief for your best friend? Curation has pet products too. Visit them online and order now on their website at curationcompany.com. Curation, CBD products curated for life.
Introducing the first Nashville location of Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Midtown. Perfect for all fitness levels. Join a community that will help every person unleash their inner champ with fun, effective, and empowering group boxing circuit workouts. Become a founding member today. Stop by the brand new studio in Midtown at 2041 Broadway, Suite C, or call 629-206-9092 to join the family exclusive. Pre-opening rates now available. Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, the gold standard in boxing fitness.
Preds fans, watch tonight's playoff action in Cool Springs at Huckleberry Brewery on Fraser Drive next to Sperry's. It's the 1025 The Game watch party. While you're there, register to win tickets to the Preds' first home playoff game.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? Quality oil like Mobil 1 Full Synthetic can help you get more out of every mile. Got an older vehicle? Try Mobil 1 Full Synthetic High Mileage. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $37.99. Get what you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,000 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless. Now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
The sounds.
Play ball! It's gone! A grand slam for Mark Mathias.
The Nashville Sounds are back at First Horizon Park as they take on Norfolk.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sounds win.
Coverage begins at 6:20 on your home for the Sounds.
ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Pete Weber. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 1025 The Game.
We're live at Huckleberry Brewery here in Cool Springs. Once again, that is next to Sperry's on Fraser Boulevard. 8:30 tonight. Be here for the Game 1 watch party before the Preds take on the Avalanche. And, of course, you can win tickets to Game 3. We'll be giving those away at the start of the third period tonight. Hal Gill, former Preds defenseman, current Preds analyst, joins us on the program now, presented by Dunkin' Donuts and their newest next-gen location at 500 Cool Springs Boulevard out here. Hal, I was going over my notes from 2017 when the Predators beat the Chicago Blackhawks and how I gave the Predators no chance to win that series. I think, given the circumstances, this might be even harder than that. Put yourself in that locker room. You're flying on that plane. You're in that hotel. You're with that team. How do they get the confidence, and how do they pull it off tonight?
Well, you know what? I think they've got a lot of confidence off the fact that they were built more for the playoffs than the regular season. I think if you look at up and down the team, when they play well, they play a heavy forechecking game, so there's no reason to believe that they would try to change it up now. And if you want to beat this team, you're going to have to check them pretty heavy. You're going to have to get it in behind their D, make their young D move and try to retrieve pucks and ultimately stay in their end as much as you can because they got some firepower that you really don't want to mess with, like McKinnon, Landeskog back, Mikko Rantanen. They got some weapons. Nazem Kadri has had a great year, so if you can play that game, that forechecking game that they talked about as their mentality, then they can have some success, but it's not going to be easy.
Hal, I look at this game and I think to myself, Colorado has all the pressure here. Darren and I were talking about it today. I mean, if they lose this series, Jared Bednar might get fired. That was Darren's take. And all the pressure's on them. Nobody's really picking the Predators to win. How crucial would Game 1 be from a confidence standpoint and a series standpoint?
Yeah, Game 1 is always huge. I will say getting one game out of Colorado would be huge. Obviously, the sooner you get it, the better. But, yeah, I think you need to try to put a little doubt in their mind and kind of make them worry about it. Especially you have guys like McKinnon that haven't had playoff success. Their whole season has really been about, okay, we're going to have a great season, but we're going to tool for the playoffs. I just don't think they were as mentally tough as they needed to be to win. And so they talked about it. They worked at it. They feel like they have a new mindset going into this, but until you do it, until you prove that you're a playoff player, you're always going to be that doubt. So if the Preds can go in, force their hand a little bit, put them in an awkward spot, and make them sweat it out, that's going to go a long way towards being able to try to steal this series from them.
Hal Gill is our guest. He's live in Denver. He'll be on the call tonight right here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. What do you have about your experience? Let's say one of the guys came up to you and said, Hal, tell me about your career. Is there anything that mirrors being this kind of underdog and having nobody believe in you like this Preds team with a backup goalie and everything else? What from your experience do you remember?
I used to love being the underdog. I thought that was, you go in with no pressure. I've been the President's Trophy favorite that's just going to sweep through everything. And if you have a false sense of confidence going in the playoffs, it'll cost you. It is humbling. Especially the first game, the first round is just so physical. It's so fast. It's an up-level play. So if you're not sharp, if you're not going into the playoffs tuned up and ready, it'll catch you quick, and then your confidence takes a hit. It starts to snowball, and you say, okay, there's no way we're going to lose this. We just got to go out. We got to get back to our game. You can't have that mindset. You got to have the mindset like, we could lose this, and it could be embarrassing, and we better go out every shift and give everything we got. And so I think over the years I learned how to manage that, but there's a lot of guys that don't know how to manage that. So whether you're top dog or the underdog, you got to come to perform. There's nowhere to hide in the playoffs, and it'll expose you pretty quick.
Hal Gill is our guest. What do you make of Riddick in net tonight, and what does the team have to do to support him?
I know this sounds stupid, but I'm excited about it. I think it's a chance for a guy that, he's been a good soldier. He's sat back and let Saros carry the weight, and although everyone would love to see Saros in there, I'm excited to see what Riddick can do. Can he step out, and can the play? I feel like the team gets a rush out of trying to find him wins, and so I think you're going to see a good defensive game from the Preds, and then he played pretty well against Colorado and kind of got in their head a little bit. I think they were probably thinking, hey, we can steamroll through this guy. There was some fluky goals in that last game, and it was kind of a bizarre game anyway. But I thought Riddick kind of stood tall, and maybe he got a little confidence, and maybe he can build on that. If you can get some saves early, I think it's going to go a long way to maybe getting under their skin and making a run at this. So I'm excited, especially for a guy who's done so well as a good teammate. He's getting his chance, and I know he's dying to prove it.
I do wonder this question. This is going to sound crazy. Hal Gill's with us. I am excited. I don't think the Predators are going to win this series. I don't really see how they could win this series. But I'm still excited for the series. And there's a part of me that thinks if the Predators lose this series, well, that's kind of what everybody expected. And, what does it mean for the organization? We can discuss that after the series. But it really does truly feel like this team has nothing to lose. And there's something, Hal, in sports, and you played this game, that makes a team like that very dangerous. What is it?
Well, I will say this is, and don't tell any of the players that said this, because I would never want to hear this as a player, but this team is playing with house money, right? This is
yes.
a transition year. They came out, they played well, they got a playoff spot. Saros is out of the lineup for the first 2 games anyway, so you have a million excuses. But and you could just go off, and if you lose, hey, well, that was a good season, and we built on something, and we have a future going forward. But as a player, I'm telling you, I think you said it, there's something special about that. All right, we're here. Now let's just surprise some people. And it's look at, if you're playing for the Preds, you can't look at, let's go win this series. Hey, guys, you're not talking about that. You're talking about the first shift. If you can win that first shift, you get a little more confidence going out into the next one. And, there's going to be a bump in the road. How well do you handle that? Do you respond when McKinnon gets a highlight reel goal? Can you respond from that and play good shutdown hockey and extend it? Can you play in another game? Even if you lose game 1, can you come back? And you're just looking at all these little bits and pieces, and you're not paying attention to the grand scheme, and you're just embracing that moment. That's when these teams can make a stink, because I guarantee you, if Colorado loses game 1, they're going to be thinking, oh, no, this is this can't happen. Whereas the Preds, they're just going to be saying, all right, we got away with one there. We just have to go and grind out another one. If we can grind out another one, maybe we'll have a chance. And that mentality gets you far, I think, in the playoffs.
Hal Gill is with us here on the program. He'll be on the call right here. 8:30 is the puck drop. Whenever it comes to the playoffs in any sport, you need everybody to do their job, but you need your good players to play great. Roman Josi might be the best defenseman in the NHL. Philip Forsberg, Matt Duchene had 40 goals. Ryan Johansson has played great in his career in the playoffs. I go back to 2017. PK Subban had an okay year that year. He was freaking awesome in the playoffs, as was Ellis, as was Ekholm, as was Josi. Can this team's good players, Josi, Duchene, Johansson, Forsberg, can this team's good players outplay the good players? And I'm talking about great players on that Colorado team.
I will say, yeah, there's certainly an element of matching up, and can we match their best players? That's something you're thinking about, but I really think the Reds team is equipped to just go, hey, let's match skill for skill and go that way. I think the strength of what they do well is that forecheck, is that good defensive zone structure. Can you look at Duchene and Forsberg and say, can they match up against Rantanen and McKinnon? I don't think that's fair to do that. And you could go, okay, Josi versus Makar. You can compare them all you want, but really it's the complementary pieces that they're playing against, right? Like, can Mikhail Granlund be a beast and be a shutdown center playing on a top line? Can he be part of the reason why McKinnon and Rantanen don't have a good series, but Duchene and Forsberg have a great series? Can Ryan Johansson be that piece? You're looking at a power play that has Forsberg, Josi, Duchene up top. Can Johansson steal a couple goals in the middle, and all of a sudden he's the big difference maker? I think it's easy to look at all the lightning rod best players, but I do think you have to look at the complementary pieces. I don't forget the beast line. You have Sissons, Trennan, and Jeannot. They can change a series. They are built for the playoffs. So can they go out there, be physical, be hard? Can they chip in with a couple goals here and there? I think those are game-changing lines, and it might not show up necessarily on the score sheet, but when you're looking at winning a series, you need all those complementary pieces. Don't forget Borowiecki and Benning. That's the third pair. They're going to be stuck out there at times against McKinnon. Can they stop him? Can they get a stop when it matters? When maybe there's a couple. Colorado comes in waves. If they start coming, someone's going to have to stop them. Can everyone on the defensive end get a stop against those guys? So those little battles, I think, are all over the ice in the playoffs, and they just mean so much more this time of year. So that's going to be the story for me. And, it always comes back to star power. If a star runs away with it, then good on them. They've proven themselves. But more often than not, I think it's the pieces around them.
Hal Gill will be on the call tonight. Harold, rest up. We will hear you in a couple hours. We'll see you.
We'll see you guys. Enjoy the game. It's going to be a fun one. Can't wait.
Yep. Hal Gill joining us on the program, as always, the watch party tonight, 8:30 right here at Huckleberry Brewery in Cool Springs, right next to Sperry's on Fraser Boulevard. We're giving away a pair of tickets for Game 3, and if they win Game 1, let me say this about Game 3 tickets. If they win Game 1, Game 3 tickets going to be hot.
Yes, they are.
So get excited about that. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Your wonderful phones and Preds Game Day. That's coming up next here on Stillman and Company. Join 1025 The Game for the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament. That's right. The Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament benefiting Folds of Honor on May 16th at Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with athletes, musicians, and other local celebrities. Sign up at theGameNashville.com/golf.
Let's put the green flag in the air and turn them loose.
Nashville's home for NASCAR.
He's going to try to make a big move here.
It's brought to you by the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. We are your racing station.
ESPN
1025 and 1063 The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
A few thunderstorms will remain possible through the evening hours. A couple could be on the strong side with hail and wind. We'll look at clearing skies going into the overnight. Temperatures drop back to the upper 50s. For Fox 17, I'm Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Now through May 10th, join a clean and spacious Planet Fitness for $1 down and only $10 a month. With tons of equipment and free fitness training, it's the perfect place for everybody to work out.
Even me, Mr. I can't sleep at night, so I keep dozing off during the day.
Especially you, Snoozy. You'll rest easier and feel fit-tacular.
Wait, how did you get in here?
Join in club or at planetfitness.com. $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Hurry, deal ends May 10th. See club for details.
You don't have just an ordinary mom in your life. She's the best. Her work never stops. Her sacrifices are many. Her love is unfailing. This Mother's Day, Genesis Diamonds invites you to join us in celebrating and appreciating the mothers in our lives. Stop in and let one of our trusted advisors help you find a special, meaningful gift. Layering necklaces, stackable rings, eternity bands, pearls, elegant diamond pendants, and of course, stunning diamond earrings. Great Mother's Day ideas for any budget. There's no doubt we love Mom, but sometimes a little extra appreciation goes a long way as a thank you for helping us through challenges, making sacrifices, and always putting the family first. So whether it's her first Mother's Day or her 60th, Mom deserves a gift that's anything but ordinary. And at Genesis, that's our specialty. Exquisite rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, heirloom pieces. Timeless gifts of jewelry that she can enjoy and cherish for decades to come, and always be reminded of how special she is to the family. Genesis Diamonds, online at genesisdiamonds.net.
What if you could be debt-free in 3 weeks? Hey, Willie Donick here. My friends at Loan Pronto are helping people do it every day. It's Loan Pronto's Debt Consolidation Home Refi, wiping out tens of thousands in credit card debt. Listen, your home's value is way up. You can refinance now, take money out to pay off all your credit cards, eliminate PMI charges, pay off personal loans, or other high-interest debt. One local couple had over $50,000 in credit card debt. Loan Pronto did a debt consolidation refi. And even though their mortgage rate went up a tad, they cut their monthly payments by $900. Why pay 20% interest when you can consolidate it to one low payment with a mortgage APR in the threes? Homeowners who do it save an average of $800 a month. Do it now and even skip your next house payment altogether. That's what I call financial freedom. Call Loan Pronto now. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Come out to Rivergate Mall Food Court on Friday, May 6th between 12:30 and 2:30 to register to win a pair of Preds playoff tickets from ESPN 1025 The Game. Stop by Sports Seasons while you're at Rivergate Mall for all your Preds game day gear.
Darren McFarland.
And a mulligan that we all look for in golf. Lord knows our game could use it.
Willie Donick.
Outworked and outperformed a lot of other really good players.
Chase McCabe.
I want some sort of trade protection.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is on. Delivered by TriStar Moving.
Stillman and Company, we are live again. The Preds watch party tonight, the official 102.5 The Game watch party starts at 8:30 tonight for puck drop between the Preds and the Avs. We are live at Huckleberry Brewery. It used to be Cool Springs Brewery. They got new ownership, new management. They got about 5,000 TVs, which means that they will have the Preds, they will have the Grizz, and we will have your opportunity to win tickets for game number 3. That's right, at Bridgestone Arena on Saturday. I promised you wonderful phone calls. Our phones are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Lee is up next here on Stillman and Company. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, Lee.
Hey, Jared. Hey, this is kind of a repeat for you. You and Adam Vingham picked against them. They'd never get in the playoffs. And isn't this Chicago all over again in 2017? Didn't you say they'd win in 4 or something like that?
I picked Chicago in 5, and I will say this, Lee. This might be harder than the Chicago series in 17.
Yeah. I mean, I know we have a lot of people think we have no chance. If we can win one in Colorado, we won the other night. They were trying to win the President's Trophy.
Sure.
We got a chance if we can win one in the next 2 nights.
So in a normal series, thank you for calling. In a normal series, I would agree. In this series, I think you got to take 2. Because if you take 2, then you only have to win 1, then all the pressure is on them. The one difference
coming back to Nashville
in this team's favor is that Chicago team had won 3 cups. This Colorado team has been choking, and they've got all the pressure on them to not choke again, and this would look like the choke of all chokes if they were to choke and to lose this game. What else we got?
Mark in Ashland City texts in just about that exactly. It says the Blackhawks were at the end of their dynasty and they were all old and slow. Colorado, on the other hand, is young and fast and potentially just getting started as a juggernaut. The Preds team also had Pecorine. The chances are not good for the Preds this year.
I mean, I don't think the chances are good. I mean, I really don't. But, I mean, look, I think they have like a 5% chance maybe to win this series. And I'm not trying to be rude, but just kind of trying to keep it real.
You think they'd win 1 out of 20 games? Is that right?
Yeah. I mean,
is that math right?
I'm
think
sure
so.
it is.
Sure. Let's go. Let's operate under those conditions.
That is kind of tough, right?
Like, that's why I say 10%. Like 1 in 10 games, I think is fair.
I'll just be real, and people might get mad. I think the Predators are going to get swept in this series.
I think it's 5. I think the Predators are able to win.
Like they win game 3 at home?
Yeah. Like they're able to sneak away with 1 win. I give them 5.
I mean, I think they're going to get swept. But
this is this might be the best team in the NHL.
But they have played well against them during the season. So I understand that argument. 1
and I understand
20?
the argument that they beat them last week. Like, I get that.
Like 1 in 20? Like, that's bad.
That's bad.
That may not be right. Maybe you are onto something at 10%.
Like 1 in 10 games. The Predators can win 1 in 10 games against the Avs. I think they're going to be able to win 1 in 5.
That sounds about right. What else we got?
Another texter texts in and says, if UC Saros was in goal, then I would feel a little bit more confident. But with Reddick, there is no way.
Yeah, I mean, I know that if Saros had been in net, people would be talking about, can Saros steal the series? Nobody's talking about, can David Riddick steal the series?
No.
I think you have to outscore Colorado. That's where I look at Forsberg and Duchesne and those guys, and it's like, go out there and have some hatties, because that's what you're going to need. Time now for Predators game day.
It's Hockey Night in Smashville.
Deflects back for Duchesne. His shot stopped, and the score!
What are the keys to victory tonight? What's being said in the locker room? Where do the Preds reside in the Central Division standings? Jared Stillman has the latest now. With Preds Preds Game Day on Stillman and Company. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. This is Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The Colorado Avalanche finished the year at 56-19-7, good for 119 points. First in the NHL's Western Conference. The Predators 40-30-7, good for 97 points. Eighth in the NHL's Western Conference, but it does not matter because tonight is game one, which means 0-0. Now, the injury report, UC Saros is out for games 1 and 2 of the series in Denver. Will Saros return for game 3? I have no idea. Maybe. But I have no idea, which means big save David Riddick is in net. You know what's funny about Riddick? I think their plan was for Riddick to lose last Thursday against Colorado, Ingram to win in
Friday, Arizona,
and then Ingram to go.
Yeah.
But instead, Riddick won last Thursday in Colorado. He's going tonight. Here's the coach's take, John Hines, on Big Save Dave.
Well, I think, David's, I thought he played well last time he was here. He's been with our team. I think he's experienced. He's played more games in the league. He's won a lot of games in the league. He's been, he took over the starting role in Calgary a couple years ago before the COVID shutdown and played really well. And, we think it's give him the opportunity here, and we trust him and believe in him. We think he can come in here and help us win a hockey game, and we'll go from there.
I mean, that's kind of like T's and P's right there from John Hines. But Riddick does have experience, so we shall see. Prediction time. Tonight, final score, who wins, why?
I'm going to take Colorado 4-2. I don't think the Predators are able to get this one. I think, with the combination of Riddick and net and the combination of the Predators traveling out to Colorado and the way that the Predators ended their regular season, I don't feel incredibly confident.
So I think tonight's going to be wild. I'm going to go Colorado 6-5 in overtime tonight.
Whoa.
I think it's going to be wild.
That is spicy.
Now, I still think they're going to lose, but I think tonight is going to give people hope.
He's going to keep it closer.
So there you go. Again, we are live right out here, hanging out at Huckleberry Brewery. Big shout out to them. What a great spot for tonight's watch party. The official 1025 The Game watch party will be here 8:30. You can win tickets to game number 3. We're next to Sperry's, Cool Springs on Fraser Boulevard next to Sperry's. Come on out, register to win those tickets. Chase McCabe has Preds Extra, which will take you up to pregame, and then from pregame onto the puck drop, 8:30. Get excited. We'll recap it all tomorrow starting at 2. Stillman and Company. We'll see you then, ESPN 1.